As the chief stands to his feet, all is still for the briefest of moments. The shadows hang upon him like a mantle, like a veil, covering him completely. All you can see are the glimmer of sunken eyes, a slight gleam from the bit of light that peeks in through the ceiling, glancing off of his neck. And then as he takes his first step, a great gust of wind begins to howl around you. The entire longhouse shakes. Sand kicks in through the door that you just opened. The doors wobble on their makeshift hinges. A table flips and rolls, bouncing once, twice before coming to a clattering halt at the back of the longhouse. And so we begin. Chief Ahagi rushes forward, moving towards. Go ahead and do this. Lance, he rushes you. You see him reach to his belt, pulling out a war club, kind of brandishing it over his head with a single twist, a rotation, and then an overhand swing as he brings it down on top of you. That is going to be an 18 to hit. Does I hit you?
I will spend a combat instinct as a reaction, and when he comes lunging forward, trying to slam it down on my head, I instinctively abandon pulling out my revolver and just roll back as he slams into the ground, missing.
Okay. The head of this war club, around stone, you see that it's stained with blood, having been used over the years. Ceremonial of some kind, ancient, smacks into the dirt, sending up a cloud of dust, which is immediately blown past him into the back of the longhouse. He spins, rotating it around him, overhead once more. One more attack coming at you, Lance. And that's a 19 on the die. That's a 27 to hit.
Let's go and do it.
Okay. With crushing force, he brings this war club down, bringing it towards your head. As you've rolled to the side, you barely see it coming. It clips you across the forehead, across the temple, hitting you for 12 points of damage, sending you sprawling across the floor. And that'll be it for his turn. I'm actually, at the beginning of your turn, make a dex save against the wind. It's very, very strong. So I'm going to hurry and roll for him real quickly. He passes. But it's a DC 14 dex save at the beginning of your turn to avoid falling over.
Okay. All right. Here we go. So I'll start with the dex save. Let's call it. That's a 2 on the die, so I fail.
Yeah, your feet are just swept out from beneath you as one of these stools that was kind of sitting by the door is carried into your back, whipping your legs out from below. Your head cracks against the ground, and you're disoriented momentarily before you can stand up.
All right. Well, I want to sort of roll towards where Chief Ahagi is standing and sort of spring up next to him. Can I do that with my movement? Or am I too far away?
Let me see. It's a half your movement to stand up, right? Or is it just 10
half
feet?
Your movement.
Half your movement. So
and I actually have pretty good movement as a barbarian, I think. Don't I get some extra movement? Oh, it just says speed 30, so probably not. Never mind.
15 feet to stand. You could probably reach him in 15.
Okay, then I will do so.
Okay.
So yeah, I roll towards him on the ground to avoid the wind as I'm getting closer to him. And then I spring up once I'm next to him, trying to put myself, like him, between me and where the wind's coming from, so he's kind of breaking it.
Mm-hmm.
And I spring up from the ground, drawing my silvered war hatchet. And I have my shield on in the other hand. And I am going to rage with my bonus action.
Okay.
And then I'm going to swing at him.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's do it. And that's a 3 on the die, so I miss.
Yeah, just lightning fast. He's not even looking at you. His left hand comes up and catches your forearm right before you can bring it down on his shoulder. His head slowly turns and looks you in the eyes, and you see that it's almost as if his eyes are just sunken pits. It's almost as if he doesn't see you, but there's a primal hunger, like an animal hunting prey. That he looks at you, he turns and looks at you, and his face is just is sallow. It's just this thin, reedy face, stringy, kind of loose flesh, kind of hanging, dribbling over his face. His teeth in a tight grimace, grinding against each other as he looks at you.
I shudder.
Yeah, there's
Take a few
something
steps
very
back.
wrong with him, definitely. Yeah, he would just kind of he'd catch your axe and then just kind of shove you backwards away from him with a force, a strength that defies this frail frame. Hiram would go now. I'll go ahead and just go for him. I'm just going to generically put him as like a. I'll just say that he probably has like +5 or +6 to hit or something. Yeah, so you hear from the back of the longhouse a shout as Hiram is kind of. He's pushed off his feet too, rolling a couple of feet beneath a table, which he promptly lifts up with his shoulder and slams into the ground, kind of ducking behind. He's going to stand up and take a shot at Chief Ahagi. It's going to be a 24 to hit. He's definitely going to hit. And that'll be, he has a heavy revolver, no, medium revolver, so it's a D8. And then 3D6 at his level. Sneak. 10, 12. I'm guessing he probably has a silver bullet. So 19 points of damage. As a bullet just rips into Chief Ahagi's shoulder. You see for the briefest of moments, his eyes kind of like flicker. Like it's almost like there's a light in them again, like a humanity, but they're gone like immediately afterwards. And he kind of stumbles backwards, blood just spraying out of his shoulder. This bullet fountaining out of the back of his arm with such a clean shot. And that'll be it for Hiram. Well, he's gonna hide, I guess. Bonus action hide. Okay. Lance.
All right, dex save. 17 plus mods.
Oh, you're good.
So I imagine I'm knocked back, kind of skidding across the dirt. I pick myself up and my ears are just completely ringing. I'm kind of in that 3-point stance as I pick myself up, and I'm just feel this searing pain, but it's not from the blow on the head. As I look down, my arm has that tribal tattoo that has been growing. And right now, as my ears are ringing and my eyes are blurry, I see that the tattoo seems to almost be moving and weaving this story before me. It shows this big kind of like chief-like man with a glowing kind of chest symbol that matches much of what a Hoggy is like. I will tap into that, looking at my Reaper's tattoo, and activate my supernatural ward. From there, I will pick myself up. And is he right on top of me still?
Yeah, he's standing over you.
All right. I would like to not be standing right over me. So I am going to, or can I point blank him, or is that a disadvantage in this game?
Point blank's a disadvantage with guns unless you have the oh my gosh, the gunslinger feat.
Oh, can I pull out a shotgun? That's not point blank.
No, shotguns are fine. Yeah, that's point blank.
All right. Pulling out the shotgun then. And I will go ahead and send a little shot off with that. So, natural 20.
Ooh, baby. Give me that damage.
Suck on this, Kagi, or whatever your name is. Damn, that was low. And 4, that was really high. 23 damage. Boof, right to the gut.
Okay. So 23 points.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you don't want to allocate any of that to like effects or abilities.
I don't have the chart in front of me. Sorry.
Okay, you can just do straight damage this time. Just go ahead and pull it up.
Yeah, I'll try to find that.
Okay, yeah, you blast him.
Did you send it again, Ty?
Yeah, I can send.
You have it on
hand.
hand?
Again.
I'll
I got it on hand.
I'll look for it and then just send it if I find it. Unless you.
Oh, that's thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll use a bonus. Or wait, no, my Reaper thing's probably a bonus action, isn't it? It doesn't say.
I would assume it's a bonus action.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Okay, so that is done. All right, and I'll start looking for the chart. That's it for my turn.
Okay. Yeah, you blast him in the chest. He doesn't even like flinch. You see the pellets just kind of rip through him, leaving these weltering holes, red tears dripping down across his chest, forming a complex kind of just symbol, a swirl as the wind pushes it across him and off his back. Okay, you hear a howl that is not the wind. Something that you would know, Matoska, inherently are Chidi. These spirits, these restless spirits of the dead, prone to infect and damage the bodies of the living. You hear them getting closer, moving towards you. Okay, Wesley, your turn.
Wes is just quivering in his boots. He's looking to the deputy, Lance, for just guidance or even some kind of like role model on what to do. And he sees the shot go off, and he's with shaky hands. He pulls out his, his silver metal gun, the one that has so much weight to it, not only in heft but also of emotional weight and spiritual weight. And he levels it, winces, closes his eyes, takes a big deep breath in and out. And as he breathes out, he fires it at the thing that is harassing Lance so much. Dare he even look at it? So that is a critical hit.
Oh, nice.
Wow. I'm not expecting that. I'm like, what is that, a 14? Oh, no, it's a 20. All right. So, yeah.
So roll damage, add modifier, double. That's how I do crits in my game.
Oh, okay. So just 8, 11, 22.
Okay, and then you can do straight damage, or I'm pulling up the chart right now. It's up to you.
Well, I feel like he'd go for some kind of head wound.
Okay.
As you know, that's the fun part to do. Is there one for like blinding or damaging his like ability to?
Yeah. Here, let me hurry and I've got it right here.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got the doc open, but I can't find the crits. Oh, here we go. I found it. Posting it in the old chat.
Yeah, there we go. That's the good stuff. I feel so unprepared. I was not expecting to roll a 20.
Headshot.
Well, these are literally the first 20s you guys have rolled in like 3 or 4 sessions.
First 20 I think I rolled all campaign.
All right, where's my face? First, the smallest head is... Oh. Just a straight up disadvantage attacks and perception. Yeah, cool. So I'm going to get a grazing headshot on this dude. So that's the first head one, which is
5
minus 5 damage. So that's what?
So you're gonna do 17 instead of 22.
17, yeah. But he's gonna get disadvantage.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna action surge to just glock it off again.
Dude, you could blind him for the next 3 rounds for 15 points.
Is that if I crit him again, or if I just hit him again?
No, if you get 15 points instead of 5 points, because you can give.
You just have to spend 15 points of damage. So you'd still do 5 points of damage, but he'd be blind for the next 3 rounds. That's all of us get advantage on him, and he gets disadvantage.
Well, let's do that then. Let's just do that. Let's just I'm gonna careen him in the face, and he's gonna have no eyeballs. So that's what. So a total of 7 damage is done.
Yeah, you do 7 damage instead of
nice.
17.
Yeah, but like his face is bloodied and
that's way
his
better.
Eyeballs are squished together. Yeah, and I'm gonna then the advantage shot, right? Because I've got advantage because he's blind.
Yeah, because you have
an action surge. There we go. That's called a combo, sirs. That is a 26 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Now we're talking.
And this is going to be a good old 15 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
There's 2 more bullets.
Is everyone using silver bullets?
I don't think so.
Only Hiram, right?
But your gun is magical, though.
Speaking of magical gun, I am the runes on the side of this gun will light up.
So his gun is magical though, so he does full damage on his hits. Anybody who's not using silver will not do full damage.
I would like I would like him to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Okie dokie. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to look up how this works. But sorry, my character sheet notes are not the best.
Okay. Yeah, so this bullet just kind of I almost imagine that it just rips through almost like you're shooting from the side, just rips through his forehead, blood just pouring down across his face, blinding him terribly as he's kind of like wiping and just trying to clear his eyes. Eventually he's just gonna kind of give up on it though and just turn kind of standing stock still. He kind of rears his head back and he's looking straight up at like the sky. You see that the roof is like swaying back and forth. Bits of the roofing itself ripped free, so you can see the sky above. Gray clouds are swirling overhead, and he just screams a silent scream, just as he's looking upwards. He's gonna look back down, and let's see who he attacks out of the two people near him.
I'll be baiting him on. Come on, big boy.
You're yelling
Arcane
at him?
shot,
Yeah.
Okay.
Arcane shot's doing another 6 necrotic damage to him.
Okay.
But he resisted the enfeebling effect of it.
Okay. Additionally, now that the wind starts to pick up even more, this scream is seeming to have disturbed the storm. Attacks made at range with ranged weapons are now at disadvantage.
Damn.
As you egg him on, as you yell at him, Lance, his closed eyes, blood dripping down over his face, forming a bloody mask. Look at you, and he's going to try and grab you. Let me a grapple check.
Disadvantage.
Huh? Yeah, disadvantage.
All right.
Ooh, does not even matter.
Okay.
He got an 18 and an 18. So what'd you get?
Oh, that's not what I thought you meant by it doesn't even matter. I rolled a.
You go to like a 24.
Yeah, he wins.
Okay. He's kind of reaching for you, scrabbling at you, and his hand finds your shirt. He pulls you close, and his other hand reaches up and closes around your throat. He's going to throw you with the strength of the wind towards the wall. Okay. So he grabs you and just turns and just hurls you with the wind. It catches you. The strength of this fragile old man just defies his frame as he hurls you into the wind. You sail through the air 20 feet, slamming into this wall and going through it out the other side. I'm going to need you to make me a dexterity or strength save.
11 plus 5, 16.
Your hands barely manage to scrabble and find purchase on the frame as the gale winds out here rip and tear at your boots, seeking to tear you out of this building. You're kind of like fluttering in the wind now. This hole that you've opened in the side, creating a howling within the structure itself. You're going to have to make a strength check, a strength save at the beginning of your turn to try and pull yourself back into this room. If you fail...
Just go ahead.
If you fail, you're stuck there. If you succeed, you can pull yourself back in. If you get anything less than a 10, you're carried away by the wind.
And as the wind's howling and I'm just like literally hanging on for dear life, I'm trying to yell out. I imagine my voice is carried away, but I'm just like, Hiram, what the hell is this? How do we stop it?
Okay. Chief Ahagi is going to turn now towards the sound of Matoska shuffling nearby, Matoska, and he's going to raise his war club and swing at you. And, he has disadvantage. And miss horribly. He's like swinging at the dark, basically. This war club just whipping past your face. You feel bits of blood from when he hit Lance just flecking you, spraying across you. Damage from the throw, that's right. Just 4 points.
Okay. My supernatural ward reduces that by 2.
Okay. So yeah, his war club just past you as you're barely able to move out of the way as he's blindly swinging. Matoska, your turn.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Was the thing where he threw my buddy Lance? Did that look like he was using some sort of like supernatural ability or something like that, or does it look like if I land a grapple check on him, I could do the same thing to him?
It looked like he was supernaturally strong.
Okay.
You might be able to if you roll high enough on a strength check after grappling him, but it's up to you to try. Anything is within the realm of possibility with Winston strong.
He doesn't look like he has any sort of ranged option, does he?
No, not really. He just has this war club.
Screw it. I'm just going to attack him.
Okay, go ahead.
Here we go.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Nice. Go ahead and give me damage.
All right. That's pretty let's see, it's a D8 for the war hatchet. That's a 5, and I have +5 because I'm raging. So
Okay.
10 times 2 is 20.
Okay, 20 points. Nice.
And should I do one of these little things?
It's up to you, or you can just do damage.
Nah. I think I'm just gonna go with damage. I've got a silvered weapon here, so that's gonna be hopefully a full 20.
Okay.
Oh, and then using my bonus action, as I connect with him with my hatchet, since I'm raging, the spirits of my ancestors sort of swarm out on the sides of me and encircle us and create like a ring around us, just completely unaffected by the wind. It's blowing straight through them with nothing, and they start to chant. My ancestors are of the bear. They're very barbaric and primal, and they just start going, fight, 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 like all around us. And so I have captured his attention with my spiritual guardians, and if he tries to attack anyone else but me, he has disadvantage.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
already has disadvantage anyways. But
Yeah. So,
you know what? Whatever.
Okay. Yeah. So this chanting, this shouting, just starts to fill. Fight. Mortal Kombat style. Just fills the longhouse. And he kind of like looks down. This chief kind of like sensing this as well, his connection to the different realms, strong as yours. And he kind of snarls. His eyes clenched shut, fighting against the blood as he tries to staunch it with his other hand. And okay, that'll be it. Yeah, barbarians die young. I love it. Okay, that'll be Hiram's turn now. Hiram is going to kind of duck around this table. The table is like kind of picked up and shoved across the room. The wind's intensifying, and he's going to kind of run and move past Chief Ahagi before sliding behind kind of like the some of the other like furniture that's kind of moving through the room, standing and shooting. Oh my gosh, good thing it's an advantage. But he still misses. It's a 1 and a 4. Okay, so his bullet just goes wide. Oh no, wait, it's a disadvantage. Oh, but it's at advantage too. So the second one is canceled. So he nat once because the first one was a nat 1. As he fires a bullet off, it just kind of like the wind just carries it, moving it in an erratic pattern. And we'll roll a luck die. Unlucky. Now it's a 1 on the 8. The bullet just kind of rips through the air, hitting one of the kind of these trembling supports that kind of make up the front of the building, blowing it outwards with the force of this bullet and collapsing the front of the longhouse. It's quickly carried away by the wind, and now the wind is blowing at you all in earnest. I'm going to need all of you to make dex saves as the front of the building collapses, essentially.
Natural 19.
Natural 11 for a total of 14.
A
Nat
nat
1 on Mataska.
Okay. As it all collapses inward, as the wind picks up, one of the tables is lifted off the ground, Mataska, and you don't see it coming. It's right behind you. I imagine Wesley like tries to yell at you to warn you or something. And as you turn to look, this table just takes you in the chest. It's going to knock you off your feet, carrying you 20 feet towards the back of the longhouse and dealing 11 bludgeoning damage to you as it hits you. This with the full force of the wind. Okay. So yeah, you're carried 15 feet out of Chief Ahagi's range and into the back of the longhouse. Let's see. So that's Hiram's turn. Lance, you're up. Strength save.
All right. Oof. That's gonna be an inspiration, I think. Let's do that. Okay. It's 2 7s in a row, so that it's gonna be a whopping 7.
Okay, the wooden kind of support beam that you're kind of holding onto is hit by one of these like flying chairs and just snaps in half. Your handhold's gone all of a sudden, and you're carried 10 feet through the air, and you tumble across the ground another 10 feet after that. You're going to take a d6 of damage from the flying debris. 3 points of damage as debris and dirt and rocks and pieces of wood just like slam into you and around you, and you tumble across the ground.
And I'm outside now, correct?
Yeah, you're outside now.
Okay.
The sky is dark with clouds swirling and rotating above you.
Yeah, I'm going to quickly try to like regain my positioning as I get turned upside down. I look focusing back at the house or the hut and just see the wind just pounding through it, literally ripping it apart. Trying to think. I got two options. Do I get the sense that Chief Ahagi is doing this or another entity is doing the wind?
You get the sense that it's connected to him in some way, but he's not the one necessarily doing it. It's just part of him.
All right. I will then use my fleet of footwork, boosting my movement up to 5 additional feet per turn. And I'm going to dash and basically try to, with triple movement speed due to the fleet of footwork, move entirely around the back of the hut, hopefully in the opposite direction that the wind is blowing, and then get like updraft of Chief Ahage and see if I can find a way in, maybe even a second story level.
So you're going to be running against the wind. So I'm just going to take like 15 feet of movement from you.
Can I not circumvent it, or is it literally just everywhere?
I guess you wouldn't have it when you're moving around the back of the hut because it's coming towards you, like into the hut.
Right.
So while you're behind the longhouse, like you wouldn't be hit by it. But once you come around the other side, so we'll do 10 feet of movement then instead of 15.
Yeah. So I have a max right now of 105 feet of movement. So can I still make it back there?
Yeah, you'll be able to make it all the way around as you're
right.
just sprinting against the wind.
And then do I see like a back door? Do I need to make, or like a back entryway, maybe like a window on the second ledge, and I can climb up some like stack of fur pelts or something? I don't know.
What you would see is that several of the tables and other items have already ripped through the back of the longhouse, providing like holes that you could climb through if you wanted to.
Perfect. And I just want to make sure that I'm like updraft from him, not downdraft, correct?
What do you mean updraft? Like
the wind is blowing into him, not to me. Like I want to come in behind and be with the wind or against the wind, whatever one I'm trying to do. I'm trying not to walk into the front of the wind.
Yeah. You'd be coming in behind him then.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
And how much do I still have an action left?
Did you dash?
Yeah, I did actually. You're right. So yeah, that's my movement. I am going to look around for a nice big table that hasn't been turned yet, and my turn basically. Hopefully, a good distance away from Ahagi.
Yeah, as you kind of move to one of these tables, is kind of like piled up and sitting in like these huge mounds, essentially against the back of the longhouse. You'd find Matoska pinned against the wall with this like table pressed up against him. You're just like, sup. Okay. Sorry, go ahead. Okay. That different howling, the one that doesn't sound like the wind, but instead sounds like the scream of something tortured, of something terrible, intensifies, getting louder. And you would see these hazy, kind of billowing shadows. Now that this world, Matoska, you'd recognize that the boundary, the separation between this world that you live upon and the below is very, very thin right now. And you see these hazy figures kind of moving towards you. You can see them too now. The other, like Chris and Connor. But you see them walking towards you, moving with the wind as if it's not even affecting them. They kind of drift like these billowing, shapeless clouds moving towards you, and you can see them now. And that will be their turn as they arrive at the longhouse, or what's left of the longhouse. Wesley, your turn. The air suddenly becomes colder too as these shadowy figures arrive.
Goosebumps crawl from Wes's neck down his back, down his arms, to his fingertips, just like these big prickly hairs stand up on end because of how spooked he is. You can see him visibly shake. The pistol in his hands, it's clattering with all its little loose parts because that's what pistols have, and it's shaking in his hands. He just closes his eyes, he looks away, he clenches his teeth. Blam! Another shot at the big, supernaturally gifted brute that's throwing people around like it's soft putty.
Okay, so not an advantage, not a disadvantage, just a normal roll.
Yeah, just evened it out. That'll be an 18 plus something. 18 plus 7, so.
Okay, yeah, that hits for sure.
All right. Kerblamo. This will be for 12 plus 3, 15 points of damage.
Okay.
And another con save.
Another con save?
Yeah.
That landed. I'll re-roll. He got a 14.
All right, that'll do. Just takes another 8 necrotic.
Okay. You see as this bullet rips into him, the gun, the runes on your gun, I almost imagine shining so brightly that they're like smoking. He kind of stumbles. You see him fall to a knee, and these lines, almost like veins beneath his skin, start to spread from a point on his neck. And as you look, you would see that on his neck there's like this circle of metallic-looking. Like a metallic tattoo, almost in a way, that has kind of like these myriad random lines and symbols inside of it. And you'd see, but primarily anyone looking close enough would notice that at the very center would be kind of like an owl and other symbology around it, words and symbols of old languages that you don't know. But you see that kind of like spreading like veins, like these metallic veins beneath his skin. His skin becomes translucent in the darkness. His eyes kind of snapping open, a yellowish glow to them, kind of black around the edges too, and metallic and shiny in the center. And his teeth, you would say they don't look normal. They become almost completely flat, like grindstones. And he slowly turns and looks at you, Wesley, and is going to drop his war club and bound towards you on all fours. And he's going to make 4 attacks on you. I mean, not 4 attacks, 3 attacks on you.
I have an AC of 13.
Okay. Disadvantage, though, because he's blind. And does he see Wesley with all the wind and noise and whatnot? Is he able to know where he's at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He is blind, though, right? Still?
Oh, you're so lucky that's a disadvantage. You got a nat 20 and a 14. But the 14 gets like plus like 8 now. So yeah, he's gonna hit hard. So that's a 22.
Yep.
Yeah, he comes in, fists raised. You see that at the tips of his fingernails have kind of like lengthened, sharpened slightly. He's gonna hit you for 12 points. One of the claws just tearing down from your shoulder all the way down to your waist, ripping you open like a piñata. His other fist coming in from the side, disadvantage attack. That one's going to miss. That's a 12 to hit. And then his third attack, that's a 21 to hit. So his third attack's going to hit too. I'm going to need you to make me a strength save as his third attack slams into you.
Strength save a 19.
Okay. Hits you with another 12. Luckily, you're not launched backwards into the wall and out the side of the building. Instead, you're just slammed up against it as his claw just essentially grabs you on the shoulder and just tears a chunk of flesh free. His eyes just filled with like this kind of glowing metallic hatred and that silent scream piercing your heart and your ears as he's kind of just tearing at you. He is going to use one of his legendary actions to make a last attack on you. Oh my gosh, you're so lucky. That's another nat 20 if it would have been not a disadvantage. That's a 29 and a 19, so he's going to hit on this one too. His grindstone teeth are going to clamp down on your thigh, and he's going to bite you for another 16 points.
That is enough to put the Wesley in the dirt.
His teeth just like rip free. These kind of flat, rounded teeth, tearing flesh and muscle alike free, dropping you to the ground as he holds you up by your throat against the wall. Okay, and that'll be it for Chief Ahagi. Matoska.
I can't really get to him, can I?
To him?
Chief Ahagi, which with just my move, because last turn I think I failed to save, and so I got knocked 20 feet back.
Yeah, you got thrown 20 feet because you got hit by the table.
And I also knocked prone? Because if so, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know where everyone is in spatial.
I wouldn't say knocked prone because that's a bit much. But you're 20 feet away, and he just moved about 15 feet to get to Wesley. Wesley, where would you say you were? Would you say you were towards the back of the longhouse, towards the middle of it, when all this went down?
I think as soon as because he was one of the first to enter, and as soon as all the spooky business happened, he would have stood still in his Snickers. So he's probably in the back of the longhouse near the entryway.
Okay, yeah, so that'd be about 40, 50 feet away from you then.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to move my full 30 feet towards him. And since he's still blind, I'm guessing that he's relying on a sense of sound to try to know where we are. That he had heard Wesley's shot, and that's how he knew which direction he was in. So I'm just going to bellow at the top of my lungs and say, come fight me, so that he'll move towards me. And I'm going to hold my action. And if he gets within melee range of me, I am going to attack.
Okay. Yeah, his head whips around and locks on you, and he drops Wesley to the ground. Okay. Hiram is going to, you hear him shout, guys, we got to deal with this real quick. And he's kind of looking at the door. You see the shadowy figures kind of floating towards the longhouse. So he's going to stand from his hiding spot and take an attack at Chief Ahagi. And nat 20 it. Holy crap. Okay. That's going to hurt. And he's using silver bullets, so he does full damage too. Okay, 6 plus 5, 11, plus 3, 14, plus 4, 18, plus 6, 24, doubled, 48 points of damage. And 1 second. Maybe he'll spend on an ability. Yeah, so he's going to shoot at this guy's. Let's go with a leg shot. So he's gonna do an arm shot. He's gonna do 5 points for an arm shot. So he's gonna do 37. The next attack made against this, he throws the target off balance. The next attack made against this character gets +2 additional to attack. The next person to attack the chief gets +2 additionally, and he's gonna do 37 points of damage as this bullet just tears a gaping wound in the side of the chief, and he's going to move positions, hiding for 22. Okay, Lance, your turn.
All right. So the wind is just now. I'm with the wind now, right? Because I moved around to the back side of the building. So like the wind is blowing to my back, and if I move forward, it's blowing with me.
Okay, I think I misunderstood last time where you said you were going, but yes, sure, we can go with that.
Okay, yeah, because I wanted to be with the wind. Sorry, I guess that's what I should have said.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
I want to see if I can move a table enough to catch it in the wind.
Okay.
Send it flying towards Chief Ahagi like it did to Matoska, and then kind of follow in behind it and grab Wesley and get him out of there.
Yeah, you could kind of pull. Give me a strength check to maneuver a table in this wind.
Oh, strength check, man. What about anything but strength check. Okay, another point of inspiration. Spending them like they're candy. Fucking hell. 3 and a 7, and no modifiers.
Okay, a 7. So
This table's still heavy in the wind.
Yeah, the wind's making it really hard to maneuver this thing. And as you kind of try it, you think you have it in the right spot. Give me a luck die roll too.
All right, come on, baby, luck. The dice are against me. Let's just say neg. I got a 2.
Oh, okay. You let it fly, releasing it towards Chief Ahagi. What do you do as you release it that alerts Chief Ahagi that something's coming?
I imagine that as I'm trying to like get underneath it, I slip, and as the wind catches it, it kind of awkwardly catches me in front of it first, and like sends me toppling over my head and making like kind of this ruckus. And as Chief Ahagi looks up, he sees the table coming and just like punches through it before he even does anything to him. I just kind of roll up onto the ground, and I'm just going to say, fuck it, and run for Wesley anyways. Cause with the Chiadi coming and him on the ground, I think that they're spooky spirit things. I don't really want him getting like possessed or anything. I don't know how this stuff works, but Lance is improvising, and he's just going to run in and kind of like power slide tackle towards Wesley. And then hopefully try to like drag him away.
Yeah, you could like put your arms like in his armpits and just drag him across the ground. The wind helps a bit too, catching him in the chest and pushing him with you.
Man, I'm just like whispering to him, like, I got you, Wes. Stay with me. Come on, son.
Yeah, you see that he has this terrible wound in his shoulder, just this chunk of meat just missing, blood kind of dripping across his shirt, and his head kind of just lolling in the wind. As you kind of pull him away from Chief Ahagi, the Cheaty. So they're going to kind of start moving into the room.
Interestingly enough, I still have my movement, sorry. So I move like crazy. Or I guess not crazy because I have to dash. But can I get like Wesley out of the building, or do I not have enough movement?
I'm going to have your movement for moving Wesley with you.
Okay.
But yeah, you could probably like slip out of one of the holes in the side of the building if you wanted to.
Just rest him against the side of the building and just say, I'll be back for you. Hang in there. Okay.
Yeah, you slip him out the side, kind of leave him lying in the dirt, like a tumbleweed kind of like stuck in his hair. And as you kind of like duck back inside, you see the Cheaty kind of flooding into the room. They're not going to reach anybody this turn because they only have a movement speed of 20. But they are moving like the tide through this longhouse. Okay, Wesley, death save.
Mr. Sheriff, Deputy, sir. That's a success unless you got a weird roll. That's an 18 on the die.
Nope, you're good. Okay.
All right. Halfway there.
Okay, yeah, you get one success. You hear shouting over you. Get up, Wes. Get up. Your eyes kind of like a little bit fuzzy, and you see that standing over you is one of these shadows. But you recognize the shadow as your dad just yells down at you, get up. Okay. Chief Ahagi is going to rush Matoska, who's bellowed a challenge at him. He is no longer blind, boys. Oh, no, wait, does he have one more round?
No, he's done.
Okay.
I'll do my triggered action.
Oh, what triggered you?
Him moving within melee range.
I'm just kidding. It was a joke. Yeah, no. So you get the +2 also from the nat 20 from Hiram. So don't forget that.
Okay, I hit anyways. Yeah, that's like over 20.
Okay, go ahead and give me damage.
And 1d8 + 5. That's a 7.
Okay.
12 damage. Silvered.
Yeah, you chop him. He kind of stumbles as this hatchet, this axe, just finds its way into his chest, his shoulder. This kind of his blood is no longer red. It's kind of this like burnished gray, kind of dripping down his chest and leaking across the ground. And he's just gonna scream at you, just running at you, mad animal style, and attack you 3 times.
God damn it!
Oh wow. Okay. It's a 21 to hit.
Yep, you're looking for 17.
Yeah, okay, so 21 to hit, 16 to hit, which misses, and a nat 1. So the 21 to hit is going to do 15 points, halved because you're raging.
Yep.
So that would be 7 points. So 7 points of damage as one of these elongated fingernail claws rips across your chest, followed quickly by these millstone teeth biting into your arm. He's going to use his last legendary action to try and throw you. So I'm going to need you to make a contested strength check.
Ooh, I have advantage on those because I'm raging. Is that strength or athletics for a grapple?
You can use athletics or acrobatics, I believe.
I'll go ahead and
When
use
you're the one being
athletics.
grappled. Okay, he got a 25 total.
Oh, well, I got a 24.
Oh, that was close. What's
Rolled
your plus?
19 on the die plus 5.
Okay. Yeah,
For
so
athletics.
his as he kind of his fingernails kind of dig into your skin, you feel them latch on, and he kind of spins you, throwing you with his swing into the wind. You're gonna slam into the back wall. Luck die, let's see. Not breaking through, just hitting it and falling to the ground, taking an additional 6 bludgeoning, so just 3. As he throws you across the room, 30 feet. He just kind of tilts his head back and just screams, standing in place, just looking up at the sky. You see now that these kind of bolts of kind of a flickering yellow lightning are kind of cracking across the clouds, fracturing them like a piece of glass. Next up then is Matoska. You've just been thrown across the room by this wounded, bloody man.
I rush right back at him.
Okay, go ahead.
Shit, and he has 3 attacks.
Yep.
I only have 1. I'm not going to attack recklessly.
Good idea.
I'm going to attack normally. And here we go. That's not bad. That's going to be a 16.
Which will hit.
All right. And then that's just 1d8 plus 5. 2 plus 5, 7. Silver.
Okay. You chop deep. He kind of staggers against the blow. You see that blood is just streaming down his body, more blood than you think his body should hold. His head is kind of lolling back and forth, but he barely stands. Okay. Next up then is Hiram. Hiram's going to kind of, seeing the opportunity, stand and take a shot. Disadvantage because of the wind. And that is going to miss. The bullet just carried off by the wind, just out into nowhere. You don't even see where it goes. It kind of just like curses under his breath and ducks behind the table again. Lance.
I am going to now, basically, after realizing that Wesley's not going to wake up, I drop the shotgun and just kind of like kneel down beside him with an opening towards the hut, and I'll pull out the rifle that I found, and I'm going to try to like just aim down sight and wait for that perfect moment when Matoska steps back and fire off a shot if I can.
Okay, go ahead. Disadvantage because of the wind.
Oh, why you gotta do me like that? You're killing me. It's a miss.
Okay, the bullet just kind of shoots past him, whipping through Chief Ahagi's hair, tearing off small bits of it and scattering them into the wind. He kind of looks around wildly, his head trying to figure out where it came from. Ears kind of like he's rotating his head, trying to listen. And that'll be it for you. The Chidi are going to keep spreading through the room. First person they're going to reach is the kneeling Lance. Lance, as the Chidi reach you, I'm going to need you to make me. First I need them to make attacks. So you're going to get 2 attacks against you. One of which was a nat 20, my friend. I'm sorry. And that is going to do 10 points of damage to you.
Okay.
But now I need you to make me a con save.
These dice tonight. Throwing them out. That's another 2.
Okay, your strength goes down by 3.
Decent.
As essentially you feel kind of like your body being drained, your life force essentially being removed from you. You see standing over you one of these shadowy figures. Its hand is just kind of like resting on the side of your face. As you kind of look up at it, you see that it's a So woman. She looks down at you sad, eyes begging forgiveness yet compelled to do this thing. Wesley, death save.
That's a 4.
Okay,
That's
that's
a
one
failure.
failure. That's one
TikTok.
fail. Okay, Chief Ahagi is going to lay into Matoska. Here come 3 attacks, my friend.
Bring it on.
23, 11, and 26.
2 hit.
Okay, so take, and I'm going to have it, so 11 and 10, so 10 points total. As he's clawing at you, scraping at your face, tearing at your eyes, at your chest, at your shoulders and your legs, just trying to drop you, frenzied like a frightened animal. His scream, now less of a primal, terrifying thing, now more of something that is terrified. Matoska, your turn.
Matoska is completely bloodied. He's on the brink of dying. He's been thrown against multiple walls, been hit by tables, been clawed into. He's panting. He's got blood just draining from his body. He knows he can't survive another round of attacks from this guy, and so he has to end it now. He bellows,
attacking?
and he's going to reckless attack it, because no matter what on my next turn, I'm screwed.
Ooh, I love it. Good, give it to me. Go again, do it.
Okay, that's an 11 and a 13 on the die, and I have +5, so 18.
That's gonna hit. That's gonna hit.
It's just 1d8 +5, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, before you roll, 1d8 +5. You need 7 points of damage to kill this guy.
All right, that should be okay. I rolled a 5, +5 is 10.
Okay, you're good. You kill him. How do you kill him?
I say, I spit at his feet and say, "It's time to rejoin your ancestors in the below." And I swing out and spin around with both arms flailing, and just give myself momentum with my shield arm and put everything into this one attack, completely disregarding any sort of stance or defense. And I catch him in the side of the face and the jaw with my silvered war hatchet, and just rip like a whole chunk of section of like skin and jaw, and like everything just tears apart right there, and snaps his neck to the side, his face hanging half open from the cleave blow.
It's like one of those super exaggerated deaths in the old Western films where they kind of like spin around from the bullet. It's like that, but the wind spins him literally as you clip him. The wind catching his arms and legs as he rotates in the air before falling to the ground in a messy heap. The wind immediately starts to subside, becoming weaker until it's nothing more than a calm breeze, fluttering your hair, rippling your clothes. This gray blood continues to drain from him. His eyes just wide, jaw kind of half hanging. As he looks up at the sky, you see tears start to drip down his face. You see that this metal symbol on his neck slowly starts to fade. Still present, but not glowing anymore. The cheaty that's holding the side of your face, Chris, draining you, Lance, kind of looks down at you and nods. A smile slowly passing her face as she ascends skyward, drifting and becoming nothing more than billowing smoke, and all becomes calm.
I'm gonna like drop prone, just heavy breathing, roll over as I kind of like roll into Wes, who's unconscious, and just exhale and just Matoska.
My rage fades, draining me of adrenaline, and I kind of stumble over to him, like half limping from all these bruises and cuts that I've got from being flung into walls for half an hour. It didn't matter like before, but when I was raging, but now it's just all hitting me, and I just stumble over. Oh, you're alive. The GED, did they? They're not in you. And he sort of pats him down, right? Like trying to see if he's possessed.
Yeah, I'm just laying there on the ground, a bloody mess. My hair's like matted by blood all in my face. And I just kind of like shake you off. No, they're gone. Wes, though. Wes, he's dying on us. You gotta help me. Can you do anything?
Tell me what to do.
You're not proficient in medicine either?
No, dude. I got survival.
I thought you were more wisdom based than me. Hiram, get over here.
I don't know if Hiram has it.
I mean, I can check. If no one's gonna check, then I'll check. I want to try to stabilize him.
How high is your? It's wisdom based, right, or is it intelligence?
It's wisdom. I have 0.
I mean, I've got some wisdom. I don't have training though. Can we just try?
Yeah, you can just try if you don't have medicine. Medicine doesn't instant stabilize.
All right. If he's helping me, can I have advantage?
I got a. No, that's not what I need.
Sure, you can have advantage if he helps you.
All right, then I'll give it a go with advantage. I mean, I probably have the highest wisdom. I mean, I'm pretty wise. That's a 17.
Yeah, that stabilizes him.
All right. So, yeah, I imagine that Matoska's like, tell me what to do. And you're like, staunch the bleeding. And
help me blanching him up.
And I'm like, just trying to, I'm ripping fabric and trying to, what wounds did you have? What was your worst wound?
Oh my God.
Bite, right? You got bit and you got a chunk out.
So imagine like a shark bite survivor, but like that's also on their torso instead of on their hip.
Did you get your newfound lingering injury?
I'd cauterize him for sure.
My good eye.
If I had a torch or something.
Just pour a bottle of acid on it.
Yeah. Give him the old hydrochloric acid.
Moments kind of pass by as we're like haphazardly bandaging him up in probably the worst field medic of all time, which makes me even bloodier because like now I have my own blood. I'm literally at 1 HP, so I'm messed up. And then now I'm covered in Wes's blood. I just kind of fall against the broken shack or hut, and it kind of like groans underneath my weight a bit, and then I slide down to a sitting position and just exhale in like an old man sigh, and I just look to Matoska and just say, I'm getting real tired of this shit, man. What the fuck is going on? You're muted.
It is the work of the Mother Owl. She has corrupted these people. We must stop her at all cost. But for now, we must regain our strength. And he busts out his herbalism kit. He has an herbalism kit. Packs a pipe. Lights it. Hands it to Lance.
Yeah, normally Lance wouldn't, but under the circumstances, he grabs it and just a deep inhale and then just coughs it all up instantly.
Yeah, I imagine it's like in the movies when like the kid drinks the hard liquor for the first time and just like coughs it everywhere. It's like that. Like it smells terrible. Exactly.
But if you'll allow it, I think we'll take a short rest in here while we.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sort of.
You guys can just lie there on the ground, just like groaning.
Yeah, exactly.
Like an hour or two.
Yeah. Mr. Sheriff, Deputy Sir, I don't feel so good.
Well,
calm down there, Peter Parker. Okay, let's go ahead and take a quick break then. This seems like a good time to take a break. Go to the bathroom, get a drink, be back in like 5-10 minutes. Let's do 10 minutes.
More like take a break from adventuring. Jeez, I'm gonna be a cripple by the end of all this.
Well, remember that in Providence, the rule is each time you go down, you get a death point. And once your death point surpasses your con modifier, you dead.
Yep, I am very close to there.
Well, let's see if by the end of the adventure I can kill one of you guys.
What's up, dude?
I'm fucking scarred as fuck right now.
You are just torn
I'm missing an
up.
eye. I've got like no face. I've got this giant bite wound on the top part of my shoulder. I'm gonna have to get a refresher on this whole like death chances thing because I'm at a very, very, very thresholdy numbers right now. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying. Let's roll some hit dice because those are.
What would you make if you had to make a new character?
I have no clue. Probably something that can bite like that. So that's 5. This is 6. It's 11.
I feel like it'd be helpful to have like a casting class in the group. We're all very martial. We've got fighter, rogue, barbarian.
I think there wasn't like a limit on what classes were even available.
Yeah, but maybe Tyler's made some progress on since he's working on the setting on some of the newer classes. That'd be cool. Like a shaman or like a I don't know.
A person with a magic stick.
Magic person. I think that's what I'd do if Matoska died. I'd try a magical character.
But you can turn into a little bird. That's already magical.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I mean a magical class.
I've got a magic gun. I'm magical. What are you talking about?
We're also magical.
We're all so magical. And Lance has that wicked smile. That's magical.
I think the bird thing is more of a curse.
Well, I got you into some heaps of trouble, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is a curse. So maybe Wes is not waking up from this little recovery. Maybe he is. We'll have to find out when the great arbiter of death comes back.
Is it like if you go down, like if it exceeds your constitution modifier, or if it meets your constitution modifier?
I'm like, is it exceeds or meets? Because that's a very important phrasing right now. Because I have a +2. I wonder if there's like I'm gonna control F for death.
Because I think Hiram started the game, and in his backstory, he had been like shot and knocked out, and he started like with 1 already, just from his back, like before we even started the game. That was pretty crazy.
Okay, so it's exceed. Exceed. Good. I'm on death's door, not at death's landing, I guess.
Yeah, Matoska's been down once. He has 3 constitution, so he's tough as nails.
I'm pretty sure I've been knocked down twice, which means if I get knocked down again, I'm dead also.
Yeah, good news, I'm not dead yet.
And I was at 1 HP that fight.
Yeah.
Wow, 1 HP. I was at 10.
I'll have you all know that I burned up all of my hit dice.
Me too.
And I'm only at half of my health. I rolled really low on my hit dice.
Rip.
Yeah, I rolled like 1s and 2s. I'm like, thank you. Thank you very much, dice.
We have 3 hit dice, right?
Yeah. And I'd used up 1 before. I used my second wind there, and even then, it's just like, yeah, roll the 1, roll the 2, roll the 2. I'm like,
it's amazing. You're already been when you roll hit dice. Do you get plus your constitution modifier?
Yeah, you do. You do. You do.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I'm actually at half instead of at like.
That's
6.
what I was thinking. Okay. In that case, I'm at way more.
You get a big fancy dice to roll. I get a slightly smaller fancy dice to roll.
I spent all my hit dice.
Mm-hmm.
But with my Constitution modifier each time, I'm back up to full.
I'm almost full. I've rolled pretty decent.
Smoke the peace pipe, chill out for a couple hours, take a nap, wake up, feel great.
Retire. Retire. I'm turning in the badge. This is too much.
Dude, who's going to protect people from the evil spirits and shit if you don't?
Well, I'm not going to be doing it for much longer because I'm going to die soon.
I'm just a farm boy.
Listen, Matoska, we're taking you in and we're just blaming it all on you and
I'm just a farm boy.
saying the day saved.
Catch me if you can.
I mean, I think I'm faster than you, so.
Not when I'm an owl, you're not.
What you think? Yeah, I was rolling abysmally that fight.
I've been rolling great. Just like, 19, critical hit. Just like,
I can't believe we
just
blinded
throwing off
him.
shots like that.
And
Yeah.
then he's still down even a
TPK'd
single
us,
round.
yeah.
He was blinded for 3 turns. I was like, Wesley, after you shoot, move. He can't see.
This is a dumb sack of bananas. That's what he is. So
Yeah, good point.
sack of bananas. That's something I've never said before. I'll add that to my repertoire of things I probably will never say again.
How dare you insult the intelligence of bananas?
How dare you compare him to bananas? So insulting to bananas everywhere. Man, this DM guy is really holding us up here.
I don't know. How about we start the game? We don't need DMs, do we?
All right. So we loot the area and Lance, you find 4 +3 longswords. Matoska, you find a +4 set of leather armor that makes you immune to all damage when you wear it. And you can fly at will. You have a fly speed of 50 feet at will. And me, I get 6 beads of force, which will regenerate after thrown. So they can basically infinite beads of force. Yeah, cool.
That's a good haul. That's a good haul.
It's a good haul.
Yeah. Oh, and let me just roll. Sorry, one last time. 64 million gold pieces. There you go.
Good.
Yeah.
I can finally buy that nice piece of furniture for my apartment.
I can finally buy that lampshade I've always been wanting.
That's my character's end goal.
Buy a lampshade with
Buy a lampshade.
Nice quality lampshade. I'm doing it. My lamp's too damn bright without the shade for it. It's off-putting. Turn it on to try to read, and I'm blinded by it.
Yeah. First, you're blaming the books for being too, wordy.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many words on these books.
There's a big
hurt your eyes.
It's one of those books with lots of words in them.
Hurt your eye bulbs.
Tyler Hurst. He takes the full 10 minutes. What a guy.
What a guy. An amazing thing to watch is a slinky on a treadmill.
No doubt. That sounds pretty
That
cool.
is a cool thing to witness.
Right.
Yeah. Just have fun watching a slinky on a treadmill.
Slinky on a treadmill. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mesmerizing.
Just infatuating.
I'll raise you Slinky on a treadmill and give you Slinky on an escalator.
That's equally fun. I think. But I that's a close one. How about Slinky on a bird feeder? Because that is a 3rd Google hit suggestion.
Don't say I'm not.
Oh.
Wait, Slinky on a bird feeder?
Yeah, so what it does, okay, so it's totally not amusing. Well, it's amusing to watch. What you do, if you got pesky squirrels, I'm just looking at Google now. You put a slinky on a bird feeder, and then they'll try and climb up it. But then as they climb, their weight will pull the slinky down, so they'll never actually be able to climb up the bird feeder pole. The squirrels.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Wow. Just Google just has everything, I guess.
Oh, that poor squirrel.
All right. Let's see. Slinky on A. Just type in Slinky on A and just see what all these things are. Shepherd's
It's
hook.
like, screw this.
Slinky string
on a shepherd's hook. What is a shepherd's hook?
I clicked on it and all I'm getting is bird feeders still.
Oh yeah, that must be a type of bird feeder.
Yes. They fabled the shepherd's hook bird feeder because those shepherds and their birds feeding and hooky, Slinky on a treadmill staying alive. There must be a song. Yeah.
Slinky commercials. Give it to me.
Oh, there is a song to it.
Slinky commercials were lit back in the 1970s. That's enough Slinky Googling for me. I'm going to be honest with you. So what you been up to, Alex? Any other games you got going on these days?
Yeah, man, I just started playing City of Mist. I played that for the first time yesterday. It's this really cool sort of noir, modern day superhero setting.
Cool.
Really enjoyed that. It's like very investigative, like you're solving cases and stuff like that, murder mysteries. So I DM'd that, played it for the very first time on Sunday with an online group. I'm gearing up next week. I'm starting out my campaign with my main group again. We just finished Lost Mines of Phandelver.
Nice.
And took a little bit of a break after that, and I'm going to run Lost Mines of Phandelver into another adventure called Red Hand of Doom.
Cool.
That I got, which is like this adventure where there's an army rising and an unstoppable force sweeping in, and the characters have to go complete key missions to try to stop it. It's pretty sick. Red Hand of Doom.
Oh, I've heard about that. That's a D&D module, right?
Yep. From 3.5, I'm about to start that.
Are you playing it with a home group?
Yep, in-person group.
Nice, man.
That'll be pretty
cool. Like a fun one.
And
are you gonna do that crazy? They've got that crazy like lab or like the Red Hand of Thay like experience like I don't remember what it's called, but it's in Tales from the Yawning Portal.
No, I don't have Tales from the Yawning Portal. That sounds cool though.
They've got a Red Hand of Thay like dungeon in here. I can't remember what it's called though.
Huh.
Yeah, what you talking about?
That's cool.
Either.
Is it called the Red Hand of Thay?
No, Red Hand of Doom.
Oh no, I'm talking about the dungeon that's in this.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
I can't remember what it's called. It's gonna kill me. Tomb of Horrors.
But yeah, and then my girlfriend's running her very first D&D game.
That's nice.
Friday, so that'll be kind of cool. She invited a bunch of people over.
It's always exciting.
So, yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Radical.
Oh, here it is. It's called
Dead and Thay.
Crap.
Will beat you to the punch.
You suck.
Get good, scrub.
I literally spent so long looking for this, and you just stole it from me. The Doom Vault.
The Doom Vault.
Vault.
Dude, it's like huge.
Not
Dude,
freaking-
a big mega dungeon guy.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
I'm currently reading through slowly the Maze of the Blue Medusa, which is
Oh,
a
nice.
interesting read to say the least. Don't know if I'll ever run it, but
Yeah, man. Dead and Thay. The Doom Vault, man. You should take them through there if you're running them through a Thay game, the Red Priest of Thay.
I'll think about it.
I'll take you.
Cray. What'd you say?
I'll take you through there, okay, bud? Keep lipping off.
How about you just deal with it, man? I'm gonna kill your character. Okay. All right. Sorry, what?
We all discovered that we're one down away from being permakilled,
Same with Hiram. Hiram's the same.
except for maybe Matoska.
I was very curious about that rule because I'm like, there's a big difference between some meets or exceeds. You know, I'm like, which of the two is it? I'm like scanning through the doc. I'm like, oh, exceeds. Oh, whew.
Yeah,
Goes
so
like,
one more down
Wes
for all.
might not be getting up after this. Yeah, Wes is one away.
Matoska can take another 3. You know, no big deal.
So you're
That means your tank ain't doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Good
you're
constitution.
Your front line and the only line from now on. I'm standing at max range rifle distance from every encounter from now on.
Bring it on.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and get back into this. Let's go ahead and do character intros, or I guess channel plugs. We'll start with Alex and then with Connor.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alex. I don't have a YouTube channel or anything to plug, but I hang out a lot on the AbTab Facebook group. So catch me there. Let's game. My character I'm playing is named Matoska, and he is a barbarian from the tribe of the Yi Akagi. And this tribe has a terrible curse set upon them, where they transform into animals sometimes. And it can be useful in some situations, but at the same time, if anybody sort of knows about it, then we're hunted and persecuted. So he has to be very careful about who he reveals this information to. And he is looking for his childhood friend, Mawaki, who he hopes he knows is somewhere in this area. And he has been relentlessly searching for her and sort of helping out some of the white men, and they've been helping him out back. So it's been a great first few sessions, and I'm really excited to see what happens next.
Oh, who's doing it? You can go.
I thought I was. He said Connor next, and I was so excited. Then you jumped the gun, and I'm scared.
Hi, everyone. I'm Connor. Obligatory plug. I wrote a book, at least half of a book, or I partially wrote a book. Check it out, but don't because no one's listening. Anyways, I'm having a fun time playing as Wesley. He's getting beat up by some, monsters and stuff. And yeah, I'm having a great time. And I just found out that I'm not going after Alex here, and I actually jumped the gun for real here. So I'm just buying time, just rambling on, just to really put salt in wounds at this point, and kind of just like delay this clock as much as I can so that my other friends here don't get a chance to talk.
Okay, bye. All right, Chris, your turn. I'm just kidding, Connor.
Awkward. What up, guys? I am Chris, aka on the internet, the RP Ginger. I am currently running a West Marches style campaign of Tomb of Annihilation, where I got like a Facebook group of around 40 people. We're getting pretty far into that. Session 26. I have other DMs joining the fun now, pumping out some games. It's a real cool experience. Also running Storm King's Thunder. And I plan to spread my 5e wings to a max capacity of spreadage. And I'm thinking I'm going to go on to DCC really soon. So Dungeon Crawl Classics, you're going to be seeing that coming to my channel. real soon, I'm thinking. And I'm also playing in a campaign called Hyperspace and Heretics in a new system called Cold and Dark, run by Morgan Grover. And that's pretty cool too. So he's a good guy and a pretty good friend of mine. So also check him out. That's a double plug. I double plugged you. How do you like that? And my character, sorry, is that sounded weird.
My word.
Is Lance O'Connor, peacekeeper deputy here in Crow's Gulch, and a man who believes in justice, but his whole world was turned upside down when the between and the below and the above all started leaking into his life. That also sounded weird. So I'm gonna just turn it off now.
And don't mess with him, because if you do, he'll double plug you.
I'll double plug you from below.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Probably a good idea to just be quiet now, Chris. Okay, Okay, good. You muted yourself. All right. Well, I'm Tyler. This is my channel on a roll. It's RLE like roleplay. You can see it right here below. If you like the game, feel free to like and subscribe. I am having a blast from Providence for these gents. I am looking forward to running more games. And anybody who ends up watching this later, thanks. Let's go ahead and get back into this. Yeah, you guys are just basically sprawled out, having taken a beating from this man, this chief, who now lies on the floor, broken and dead. Connor, you come to, Wesley, I guess technically, with a groan. The first thing you notice is that it's eerily silent. No wind. No howling of these Chidi, no silent scream of this bestial chief that you had to fight. It's all just still and quiet. You can hear your own breath. You can feel your own beating of your heart in your chest. And that's all that lets you know that you're still alive.
He's climbing in and out of consciousness. He's seeing a world that's fading in and out of blackness. He's clutching at the arms of both Matoska and of Lance. Words barely form on his lips. The pain is too overwhelming. Sheriff.
Kneel down beside him and pull out a water skin. Gently pour it down his throat. You okay? Wesley, you hanging in there?
And he tries to sit up a bit. He's groaning at the sudden searing pain he gets from his shoulder as he does so. I don't know, Ratley, sir. Took that beastie boy took my big chunky out of me.
Yeah, buddy, he beat you up pretty good, but you put in a good fight yourself. You did a good job. I'm sorry I didn't have your back. I'm sorry, Wes. Sorry I haven't had your back through any of this. Did good, kid.
From my brother. All from my brother.
Your brother would be proud. You're gonna make a great 10 Prince one day. Mark my words.
Thank kindly, Mr. Sheriff. Deputy, sir, Mr. Sir. He's like biting onto, I don't know, the leather straps of his shirt.
Matoska walks over and in a very unique barbarian way of trying to make you feel better, he's dragging Chief Akagi's body by the hair, and kind of like just in one hand just sort of lifts him up, his frail body, and says, "We have taken vengeance for what this one did to you," and kind of like tosses him towards towards Wesley. "Worry not."
Should I be thanking him, Mr. Sheriff, sir?
That's just his way of showing that he's worried about you.
No, Mama did some strange stuff to say that she was worried about us boys too. Thank you, Mr. Toasty.
He kind of points out the bullet wounds in Chief Akagi, and especially the one above his brow that made the blood cover his eyes for 3 rounds. You did this. Take pride. You fought good.
Oh, there ain't no pride, mister, in shooting someone dead. These bullets, they do sting like some kind of bee wasp. But 10 times worse if I can even count that high.
I'm sure Chief Hoggy was a man at one point in his life, but make no mistake, Wes, what we fought there was no man.
I don't even know what we're fighting anymore, sir.
Me neither, buddy. I don't even know if we're making a goddamn difference anymore. Seems like all we do is nearly get ourselves killed. I don't know what's going on. Hiram, are we getting any closer to the end of this? I don't know how much more the kid can take. I don't know how much more I can take.
Yeah, you'd see Hiram is kind of like kneeling next to the body, kind of like looking at this symbol on the back of its neck. He'd look over at you, Matoska, and kind of like wave you over. You ever seen anything like this before? He's kind of pointing at this metallic brand almost.
Star Steel.
No, but these symbols, have you seen these before? Roll me like tradition. Or
I have that.
yeah, either traditions or like history, religion.
Can I do
All I have is tradition from being Akagi. I think that gives me tradition.
Yeah, that works.
So I will do my best. That's a 10.
Okay. Anybody else can, if they feel like they might have seen anything, like can check.
Can I flip through the old Reaper journal, pull it out, and be like, I think I've seen that symbol before, and start flipping through the book?
I actually have an idea of where you might have seen it, so go ahead and give me a roll.
Okay. Nope. Just kidding. It's a prank. Never before in my life.
Dude, your dice suck.
Yeah.
You can't put a finger on it, Lance, but you feel like you have seen this before, this symbol. Not in the journal, but somewhere. As for you, Matoska, it's pretty clear as you kind of look down at it that it's corrupted star steel. But at the same time, like you can't put a finger on what the symbols exactly mean. You've never seen the likes of them before.
I'm trying to remember back. We fought another guy who was encrusted with star steel.
But none of you guys saw it. Yeah, but none of you guys saw it. Only Hiram did, and I don't know if I want to reveal Hiram's secrets for him.
All right, that's fair. Good point.
Any signs of this mother owl anywhere?
Kind of just shrugs. I guess. Well, I mean, Chidi aren't just born because somebody was assassinated or killed. It's more complex than that. Go check the bodies. Somebody. Maybe we can find some of the clues as to what killed them or why they came back the way they did. I'm gonna take a look around the longhouse, see if I can find anything.
Matoska grunts and pulls out like a crude knife and says, I will take care of this one. He shall not rise again. And he's going to start carving out the star steel that's encrusted in his flesh and like putting it in his bag. Like a gruesome process of just ripping the corrupted star steel from Chief Ahagi's. It's so confusing. I'm a Akagi. He's the Chief Ahagi. But he's going to rip out the star steel.
Yeah, so there's only the one symbol you see, so you can start carving that out if you wanted to. Sorry, go ahead, Lance.
I'm going to just see that going down and not have the tenacity to deal with that site right now. I'm going to continue on and inspect the bodies that have been brutally murderized. And I'm going to ask if Wesley can stand up and give me a hand. checking over these bodies there. That's you, Wesley.
He
I mean,
tries to sit up even further.
you don't have to. If you
Clambers to his
do it.
feet. All right, Mr. Sheriff Deputy. I won't let you down no more. I'm going to be a 10 prince. And he says that with such resolution, despite his searing pain. He just, just stands proud just for a mere moment before, he buckles over in pain again. But he's standing there on his own 2 feet.
I'll kind of come give you a hand, the old shoulder on the shoulder technique, and we'll walk away from the carving of Matoska, and I'll give the bodies a once over, see if there's anything going on.
Okay.
We notice.
Investigation, medicine, or perception.
All right. Hiram's also, I remember, highly trained in investigation too, I think.
Yeah, he's checking out the longhouse.
Oh my god, that's like the third 5 in a row now.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Wes will give some glancy looks around, but I got a 5 after modifications. So this is a day to remember.
I got a 9, so yeah, I'm too hazy too.
Yeah, I mean, you're checking out the bodies, and nothing seems super out of the ordinary to you. There's bullet wounds, and you see they're lying face down as if they were running. There's no sign of a struggle, but you don't notice a key factor essentially in what you're looking for as to why they came back. Eventually, you would kind of be walking around. What's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 14.
Okay. You'd be walking around, and you would find, you'd start to see the shale casings, and you could kind of kneel down and kind of pick them up. And I'm sure you know guns, being a deputy. You know that they are mostly heavy revolver casings, and that they are very well made. Not like the crappy scrap metal casings that you might find just used by your everyday Joe. These are high quality bullet casings. And as you kind of continue to dig around, moving about throughout the village, you would find signs. You'd find boot prints and stuff, letting you know that the people who did the gunning down, it was a mix. It wasn't just there were also essentially the people with guns were wearing boots, and they're probably maybe vigilantes or something. I don't know. You don't know. But they were definitely not tribal.
Yeah, I'll take a little loop around the old encampment and then make my way back to Hiram, see if he's having any luck.
Matoska is after he takes, I added bloodied corrupted starsteel glyph to my inventory in case that comes in handy. He's also going to look. I know sometimes the chief of the village has a special weapon that might be some type of artifact from the clan or something, and have some cool shit. So he's gonna check out the ceremonial war club that he was using and see if it's cool or special in any way.
Yeah, so I mean, you could pick it up and turn it over, looking it over. Go ahead and roll me traditions to see what you can determine about the weapon.
I've got a little bit of traditions. That's a 12.
Yeah, so you know that there is definitely a bit of shamanism at work on this weapon. You see that it's kind of this long wooden kind of carved stick with a stone mallet kind of roped onto the top of it. You see that kind of going along the handle is kind of this braided fiber of different colors, yellows, reds, greens, blacks, just kind of rotating and mixing together all the way down along its base. At the bottom of it, that kind of comes off in these 2 long strings, which kind of twine and braid together. And at the very bottom of them, you see there's kind of a lock of human hair that's kind of been tied on as well. You see the kind of the etchings along the side of it. there are it's like a story of some kind. You see that there are people. You see that like a father handing it to his son, and his son handing it to his son, etc. All the way down, and then you see kind of the glyphs beneath his name, these symbols. Chief Ahagi, this man who you just just dealt with. And you see that after that, whatever was carved has kind of been scorched away, burned away. Part of the line having been broken, potentially. But this weapon is a. It's just so it's a. It's not like it doesn't have any pluses to hit, but if you hit with it, instead of doing 1d8, you do because war mallets generally do 1d8 damage. You do a d10 damage instead. There's a d10 war mallet basically.
That's pretty cool. So Matoska will take some time. He'll rip off the lock of hair that's on it and put a lock of his own hair instead. I imagine this might take a little bit, but he's gonna, while everyone else is like investigating, looking around, and then he'll carve very crudely. All he has is a knife, but the symbol of if there's like a symbol of an owl above the name of Chief Ahagi, and put his name next. So instead of it being like passed down, it tells the story of the weapon that he was killed by Matoska, and Matoska has it now. So any tribesman that would find this now would be able to trace the lineage back and see like what happened in the history of the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume that's sort of like attuning to it, since I'm putting like my own hair on it, and I kind of store it next to my war hatchet. I would see if there's any way of silvering it somehow. I would try to do that. I know that might be tough with a bludgeoning weapon, but that actually doesn't make really much sense with a bludgeoning weapon. So scratch that. I'll have the silvered hatchet for fighting mystical things, and I'll have the cudgel for bludgeoning regular people.
Yeah, beat him down. Cudgel on the weekends and the hatchet during the weekdays.
The Witcher style. You know, he automatically draws the right weapon to be fighting whatever he's fighting.
Yeah, exactly. So you take up the this tribe's history, essentially, for lack of a better term, and you take it. But like you see that the Hiram will kind of be digging around, kind of on this little raised platform at the far end of the hall. He's kind of like rooting around among all the tables, kind of moving stuff out of the way, and eventually he would kind of you see him like stop, like frowning, and he's like, "Do you hear that? Roll me perception."
I quit.
What'd you get, Chris?
Natural one.
Dude.
It's good.
I got more than both of you combined, I think. I can't remember what Matoska got, but I got a 12.
You got exactly as combined. Got an 11.
Okay. Hiram got a 15, so he hears it along with you, Wes. But now that all the winds kind of settled down and everything is calmer now, you would hear the kind of this soft kind of shuddering intakes of breath, almost like the sound of sobbing, essentially, muffled sobbing.
Is that you crying, Mr. Sheriff, sir? It's all right.
I'm not crying. That's you crying, boy. What are you talking about?
No. I reckon I heard someone crying yonder. Listen.
And once he points it out, you can hear it.
You're just breathing in my ear heavily. I rolled a nat 1. I can't hear it at all.
Sorry, Mr. Sheriff. I can't hold myself up. Listen with your other ear.
We go over there and check it out.
Yeah, so on this kind of raised stage, you see Hiram's kind of prodding at the boards, kind of like feeling around until he finds one that kind of moves and shifts easily. He kind of clears the rubble off of it and starts prying up floorboards. The sound gets louder immediately as the floorboards are moved. And suddenly, darting out of the darkness, a kid with a knife kind of like dives at Hiram, make an attack, hitting, jabbing him in the leg for 5 points of damage before peeling around him and running towards one of the holes in the wall. So I'm going to have you guys make contested grapple checks to try and grab this kid. He'll roll against she'll roll against each of you in turn.
21.
Oh wow! Okay,
8.
totally
Nice.
fetch.
Natural 3.
Okay,
plus,
we'll roll against Lance first. Okay, well that's a win. That's 13. Would you get Wesley?
8.
Wesley next. Okay, that's a 15. So success. So he's kind of like ducking and weaving. She dodges around one of you, kind of trips you up, Wesley. You can barely even like reach out for her. And then the big bear, she kind of like looks at you, like stops, like yeah, she's gonna try and roll to see if she can get past you. What'd you get?
21
What's your bonus? Because she got a 21 too.
plus 5.
Oh, she has +4. Okay. Yeah, so she like ducks
She
around
almost
you.
gets by me.
Yeah, she like ducks around you, like fainting to one side and then like rolling between your legs and turns to start running. And you just like turn and a hand just claps down on her shoulder. And she just
I
can't,
grab her by the scruff and like pick her up.
yeah, she can't run. She's like her feet flailing in the air. So you're like trying to like pummel your hand like to get you off of her.
I turn her around so she's facing me, and I just go, "Calm yourself, little one."
I'll come up and like diffuse the situation. Whoa, easy there, Matoska.
Roll intimidation, Matoska.
Oh man, I have -1. Natural 20 -1.
Okay, well she got a 2. So she just like stops, like her face like just like blank. You see her eyes just kind of like widen in fear, and she kind of like trembles there like a puppy, like held by its scruff when it knows it's done something bad. Hiram kind of like stumbles over, just cursing as he pulls the dagger out of his leg.
I'll soften my voice and just easy there, easy. We don't want to do no harm to you. What's your name?
She just looks at you, trembling, uncomprehending.
My name's Lance O'Connor. I'm a deputy at Crow's Gulch, and this is my big scary friend Matoska, but he's more bark than he is bite.
I'm Wesley Burke. I'm a farm boy. I'm a 10 prince, or soon to be 10 prince.
Yeah, are you part of the tribe here?
Matoska kind of looks around, knowing that she doesn't understand anything that these guys are saying, and he's going to sort of set her down and kneel down so he's like eye to eye with her and say, "Tell us what happened here, little one."
She like looks at you, finally understanding a language, and looks back at the other two standing behind you. And you see that her fear isn't directed at you anymore because there's something she understands, but she's looking at the two Providencers with like fear in her eyes. Like she tries to take another step away, but your hand's still on her shoulder, and she starts to like whimper.
Can I remember I found like that piece of star steel totem in the barn.
Yeah.
When I got exploded, can I like pull that out and as like a peace offering to her? I'm just gonna, here, you can have this. I know you don't understand, but we're on your side.
The way that you found in the where?
When the barn got exploded and I went back and checked it out, there's like a little piece of star steel totem. I think you said it was like.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you could kind of like offer it to her, and she kind of look at it and take it, and you see her start to like nervously rub it between her fingers and her hands, just desperately holding on to it.
I have a bloodied, corrupted star steel symbol that I just ripped out of her father. I'm going to keep that in my pocket.
Yeah, she would look over, like kind of looking at the destruction, her eyes just like taking everything in, and she'd see the chief lying on the ground. Her eyes would widen, and you'd see she'd like start to cry, and she'd like look at you, Matoska, and she'd see hanging on your belt the the tribe's essentially tribal heirloom.
I look down at her and say, I'm sorry for what happened here. But the mother owl yet runs free, and more death will happen if we do not stop her. We need your help to understand what happened.
Why? Why would you kill him? He was a good man. The chief protected us.
I say, it may be difficult to understand for one so young. It is difficult even for me. But the star steel corrupts. It can make men who were good become evil. It can make men with the best intentions follow the worst actions. The spirits from the below were invited through to this world. Everything is not as it seems, little one.
She just starts to shake her head. No, no, you're with them. And she points at the Providencers. You're here to kill me, aren't you? You're here to kill me like they killed everyone else.
Matoska shakes his head and says, I am not here to kill you or to hurt anyone. I'm here to find someone dear to me. She has long black hair. She's steps with a grace that I've never seen before in anyone else. Her eyes are like deep wells. You could lose yourself in them. She has a fierceness to her and a scar that runs on her left cheekbone from here to here. Tell me, little one, have you seen her?
She kind of like frowns, like looking at you as you saying all this. I wasn't allowed to talk to her. Why did you want her?
She's a friend from what seems like long, long ago. I wronged her, and I need to find her to apologize. I think she is in grave danger.
And she kind of like looks at everything, all the destruction around you, and kind of gives you this look, like this stupid, like this really sarcastic, like 10-year-old look. Like, you think?
Do you know where the survivors might have gone? Where they might have run to after the attack?
You'd see almost as if like she's reliving it. She starts to shut down, as you say, during the attack. And she starts to breathe like hyperventilating and kind of like steps away from you. No, no, there aren't any survivors. No, mama. And she kind of like holds onto this like silver medallion that you've given her, this piece of a totem. Papa. And she kind of like falls down onto her knees, like looking at this medallion in her hand, just weeping, starting to cry.
He looks back at the other two. This one needs time to recover before she can speak.
Well, we got time, no?
Let us go somewhere more peaceful.
And what, we're gonna take this kid with us?
We cannot leave her among the dead. And he's speaking like Providence, so she can't really understand. We cannot leave her here among the dead.
I definitely agree with you, but she looks mighty afraid of me and Wesley here. How do you think she's gonna feel if we bring her back to a whole town of me and Wesley's? I don't think that's the kind of time that she needs to heal.
Mr. Sheriff, sir, I think I'm the only Wesley in town, sir.
Just like nod.
Ain't no one like you, Wesley.
You definitely.
Mama said I was 1 in 100. That's.
But I know if there's like a creek or a stream nearby. I'm thinking of taking her out of because there's dead people everywhere here, and I think it's just a traumatizing place. I would want to, or Matoska would want to take her out of the village into a place that's far away, maybe a place that would be familiar to her, like if there was a creek near the village where they would go get water or something like that.
Well, I mean, you can be pretty sure there's probably something like that because they can't live without water. So
right.
But she, as you're kind of like thinking this, you kind of like turn, look back at her. She'd like stand to her feet, back away real quick, and turn and run out the door, heading towards the village.
So she leaves the room?
Yeah, she runs out of the longhouse, or what's left of it.
I turn to the other three and I nod to them and I say, stay here. I turn into an owl, fly up, and I'm gonna, from the skies, from higher above, just sort of exit the longhouse, and then I want to tail her, but from far away, and see where she's going and what she's doing.
Is that the first time we've seen you transform, or have you done it before?
No, Lance has seen it. I don't think Lance has seen it.
I'll just look over to Wesley,
But
stay here, kind of mimic him, stay here, and then shake my head. What the fuck is going on here in Crow's Gulch?
I might have got a bit harder than I thought, Mr. Sheriff, sir. I thought I saw Mr. Matasti turn into one of them owls. Where did Matasti go?
I don't know, Wes. I don't fucking know.
Has he been an owl this whole time? I know owls could turn into people.
Listen, I think it's best
that tells a whole new story on the barn we had burned down. Whole family owls were in there. Oh.
I think it's best you don't worry yourself about it.
He's definitely not worrying about it. He's having existential dread about the good old family of owls that was in that barn that burned down in that fateful night.
Freaking point of inspiration, Wes. I freaking love it. You would see
Hiram actually saw me as an owl before too.
When?
There was a moment when he was hiking up to the Boughton's house, and I tried to fly down and perch on his shoulder and act like he had a familiar owl or like he was a hawk guy or something to sneak in with him. And he was like, what the fuck? And he chased me off and tried to shoot at me and was like, get the fuck out of this bird out of my face. That was right before I went into the what was it? Randy Boughton? No.
Randall
Boughton. And
but he didn't know you were the owl though. So when you transform in front of him, he's like,
he might recognize it.
That's what I'm saying though.
Owl. Yeah.
I'm gonna roll for it because he also found owl feathers in the bedroom that Randall Boughton.
Good point.
Died in. So,
valid.
Investigation. I'm gonna say he probably has a +4, +5. That's a 19. So you see his eyes narrow, Lance, as he watches him take off as an owl, and you see him just kind of like frown and start to spin the chambers on his revolver.
Everything all right over there, Hiram? You've been awfully quiet tonight.
That's because I'm AFK. No, he just like turns and looks at you and just like shrugs. I don't see why that wouldn't be. I mean, freak storms, enraged chiefs. I've seen it all today. And he kind of starts walking past you, blatantly ignoring what Matoska said not to follow, and kind of watching from the door as the owl flies off. I'm gonna roll intelligence.
So what's the girl doing?
I'm gonna hurry and do something. One more thing. Okay, so he would turn and look at you, Lance, and he'd say, "But open that pretty little journal of yours and look up the Yakagi. It seems that we've had a monster among us this entire time." And he kind of steps outside. Okay. All right, the little girl. You see her run down towards the village, kind of running down these crudely made steps, kind of running into the village proper. You see her looking at all the bodies lying around as she just like is like stumbling away from them one by one, like something out of a horror film, where the teenager finds everyone else is killed. She kind of runs into the wall and kind of like inches along it as far away from the body as she can, and she trips and falls, gets some of the blood from one of the bodies on her hand, and she's kind of just like looking around, just eyes at horror, just looking at everything, just terrified. You hear her start to scream, and she runs through the rest of the village, ignoring every other body, to a house where she pushes in the door, runs inside, and does not come out for a little while. So she runs inside this house and has not come out.
Is there a window or like a place where I could perch on and see into?
Yeah.
I would fly down and land and sort of just wait there and see what she's doing inside, spying on her essentially.
Yeah. She'd be kneeling kind of on the floor over two bodies. You see one is kind of sprawled over the other. A man kind of sprawled over a woman. You see that she's kind of kneeling over these bodies, looking down at them and just crying, and like grasping at them and saying, "Mama, Papa," just like shouting it, trying to get them to move, trying to get them to do anything, but nothing. I mean, they're dead. She's just weeping as she reaches inside of their clothing, kind of feeling around, and coming away with an empty leather cord, where the totem should be is gone. She just cries even more deeply. Eventually, she would glance upwards and see you in the window and startle away, kind of moving against the wall, and she'd start picking up rocks off the floor and throwing them at you, yelling, "Get away from me, you don't belong here. Like, I know what you are." An owl being a symbol of death. She's terrified. You've scarred this poor little child.
I don't know if I personally scarred her. She seems pretty scarred to begin with there.
Yeah, no, she's pretty broken already. You're just stepping
I
on
don't know if I
pieces.
would take most of the blame for that. Maybe a small percentage of blame.
You can take a quarter of the blame. So she starts throwing rocks at you through this kind of like wicker window almost.
Man, I thought she was going to lead us somewhere cool.
Yeah, to her dead parents.
Great.
This is the story of Batwoman.
I was hoping maybe she would lead us to where whoever got away might have been hiding, but she did not. And now what? I fly back.
Okay.
Turn back into myself outside the barn or outside the longhouse. You said Hiram was like standing at the door watching.
Yeah, he's standing at the door.
Yeah, so he'd probably see me fly back. I'd land in front of him and transform back and say, "She's in the hut over there, crying over her dead parents. We should take her somewhere safe before we proceed."
He just shakes his head. Where's safe anymore? I mean, Randall Boughton murdered in his own bedroom. Marcellus shot trying to put out fires from a So raiding party in the back of the head. Jeremiah, Wesley's older brother, killed in a duel. People just keep dying. And he's looking hard at you.
I kind of like jaw clenched. I'm assume I'm a little taller than him, and I just sort of raise my chin a little bit in like sort of a proud, firm stance, and I say, "We are on a mission here. Let us not get distracted by dark thoughts." And I whirl around and go towards the hut where the girl is, and I'm
Yeah.
going to basically try to console her the best I can, but I'm also going to pick her up. I mean, and take her out of the village.
Mm.
I try to like shield her eyes if I can, by like holding her with her head like sort of against my chest, and just walk out and away from all this death.
As you're walking away, you can hear, but you can feel Hiram staring at the back of your head, and you hear the spinning of the chamber of a revolver.
I don't look back.
Yeah. But yeah, you can go and the girl is just like, when you find her, she's pretty much just like passed out from exhaustion over her two parents, practically asleep.
And yeah, I don't really even say anything. I just pick her up. There's nothing you can say to a kid whose parents have just been murdered, and I walk her out. I take her a little ways away from the village, and sort of set her down. If there's like I know there's probably not like a rushing stream or anything because water is pretty scarce, but maybe there's like a trickle of water somewhere up here where they would have water to live, and I would sort of take her over there and set her down and say I'd leave her with some food and say, "Rest here, child. We have important things to do. I must still find my friend. But you of the soul are strong. Keep that inner strength within you." That's all I got.
She would just dead eyes looking at her hands, looking at the water, not say anything. If you put any rations in her hand or next to her, she wouldn't look at them. Just everything's been taken out of this little child. But as you're kind of taking her over there, Hiram would kind of step back inside, walking over to you, Lance and Wes. Help me check out the rest of what's beneath that stage. Maybe there's something else there.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe more owls too.
Let's hope not. And you kind of like walk over to the stage and jump down in the hole that he made by pulling up floorboards.
I'll give him a hand.
Yeah, as you kind of climb in with him, you'd see that there's kind of this like a long, kind of shallow, flat pit. It's like maybe some sort of a storage area where they'd put things for ceremonies to be pulled out later. But everything's gone. You see in the corner there's like a couple of like empty water skins, some food kind of lying around. That's where the girl was. But on the other side of the pit, this area, you see two bodies kind of lying on the ground, beaten, bloody, bruised next to each other. He would kind of like look at you and like pull out his revolver, click back the hammer and kind of nod and take a couple of like you have to crouch beneath the stage here. So he'd kind of crouch and like crouch walk over.
See anything in there?
I think, 1 second. And you'd hear him kind of like moving the body and he'd roll it over. Just what I thought. And you'd hear him kind of shuffling, coming back. And he'd come back over to the edge of the pit, kind of coming up out of the darkness. And he'd pull these two masks up and kind of set them on the floor next to you. One of them, they're both kind of like chrome masks. One of them's red, one of them's black, though. Well, that's Mr. Chrome, Mr. Blood. Those are Dennis's helpers. The two that he sent up here to see what was going on. Looks like they were tortured, killed.
Does it look like they were tortured by the or
Both, actually. I see techniques over there, and I also see some of the Providencer styles, heating up the gun barrel, stuff like that. Things that the wouldn't even do. Whoever it is we're dealing with, we're not just dealing with Mother Owl or who the crap that is. There are Providencers involved in this also.
Just don't understand what's going on here. I feel like we're just missing a big piece of this puzzle.
Mr. Sheriff, sir, I'm missing a big piece too.
Yeah, just like Wesley's face over there. That's a good metaphor, Wes.
Who am I meeting for?
Never mind, boy.
Hiram would just kind of shake his head and look back at you. Lance, look, I don't know what's going on, but I was looking around in here, and there are spent bullet casings everywhere. Nice ones, too. Like, not the crap that anyone can afford. Like, I'm talking top of the line, gunsmith style. Like, whoever made these knows their craft. I'm seeing medium revolvers. I see a couple rifle casings. They came in heavily armed, and they just mowed everyone down.
Is there a gunsmith in Crow's Gulch that is known for his work?
No, there is not.
Question for the DM: were there any Providencers dead?
No, you did not find any Providencer bodies.
I didn't think so, but I wanted to check.
Yeah, so he's just like shaking his head. Look, man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But there is more going on here than just some rogue shaman.
You can say that again. There's a whole hell of a lot more. I feel like we haven't even dipped our toes into figuring out any of it.
He would just kind of like shake his head. Have you noticed that there isn't even a single piece of star steel anywhere?
Well, isn't that stuff rare?
Not to the They gather the stuff like it's gold. To them, it is gold.
Seems like plausible cause to show up and shoot a bunch of them. That's some valuable materials. I'm sure that kind of stuff happens all the time.
I mean, I guess, but I don't know. Something's just not adding up.
Not to mention what the hell happened to Chief Ahagi. You ever seen anything like that before?
He kind of just frowns. No, I can't say I have. Roll me insight.
Hey, I'm kind of good at that. Let's see if my dice agree. Natural 20. Bam,
He's not telling the truth at all. He's keeping something back.
Listen, man. We've been in the shit together now, and I know that we haven't been the best of friends, and we never will be the best of friends. But we're talking a picture a whole hell of a lot bigger than the both of us and our differences here.
Okay. Remember, Martin, the thing we thought was a Skootigamook? The thing we killed?
I mean, I can't even say that word, but yeah, sure.
He had that same thing as Chief Ahagi on his neck. It's a little bit different, the symbol, but it was the same thing.
And what does that mean?
I think I was wrong. I don't think there's Skootigamook.
And what the hell are they?
I couldn't tell you. I've never seen anything like it. It lives, it acts like the ghost witches, the Skootagamuk, that is. It has the transparent skin, supernatural connection to the below, uh, practically risen from the dead. Same thing, but it's not the same. Did you see how its teeth became rounded? How it could take it ignored bullets, silver bullets too. Skootagamuk don't do that.
Listen,
Look, I don't.
I don't know what I've seen and what I haven't seen anymore. None of this makes sense to me, but I'm quite sure that you know a whole hell of a lot more than I do, and that you're part of something much bigger than what you present yourself as. So if you don't know what this is anybody from your organization, I see the way that you look at Pickering, and there's something going on there between you. There must be someone else that knows more than you. Who can we talk to about this? We need a leg up.
As for authorities in these parts, I am probably the most versed when it comes to reaping. But Pickering, I mean, he might be kind of my superior, but he isn't a hunter. He doesn't hunt. He doesn't have the tactical knowledge that I do. Look, if I don't know what this is, and I've never seen anything like it before, the only people who might know something about it are those at the Reaping headquarters, at the Reaper headquarters.
What about this? Reaping, I've heard that before. It's in that journal that I've acquired, and that asshole Blackburn. He's mentioned something about reaping too.
What journal?
Pull it out. This. I found it when I woke up in the fields after the fight with the Skootagamuk.
Wait, you found it in the field?
It was just kind of on my person, and I swear when I opened it, it was the initials BB, but when I looked at it again, it was my initials.
And he kind of just frowns. Oh, let me see it.
I can't make word of any of it. Only sometimes the words make sense to me, and even then it's bits and pieces.
He kind of takes it from you and tries to open it, and it won't open. And he's like using all of his strength, like he's like pulling at it. He's like,
"Is this some sort of joke? What are you doing? Are you messing around here?" And I'll pull it from his hands and try to open it up.
And it opens up fine, yeah.
Look at it, I'm like, what are you doing?
And you see is like you kind of like look at like the book itself, kind of looking at the journal. I can't read any of that.
Mixtulus. Well,
actually, you can read it right now.
Word. Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Oh shit! What does it say? I can read it.
You would see at the very top of the page the initials BB, and beneath it says, "I'm starting this journal as a collection of my hunts, that it may find a worthy wielder as time passes, that they may continue this legacy, purging this world of the evil spirits of the below and cleansing our world itself. Whoever finds this should know that monsters are real. But they're not what you think. They're not the bedtime stories your parents tell you to sleep, to get you to stay in bed and go to sleep. They're not the things that people whisper about in bars and drunken stupors. Everything comes from two places. Well, three if you include us. Either the above or the below. Every monster that you've heard of is probably real. Everything you hear that goes thump in the night that you can't explain is probably one of these monsters. So arm yourself. This journal will teach you as you encounter them, so pay attention to it. You see, as you're kind of looking at it, as this page ends, all of the pages seem to be like glued together, except for one page, which you can turn to. And you see,
flip to it.
Yeah, as you flip to it, as you look at it, you see that it's filling itself in even as you look. You see a sketch of a mouth with rounded, kind of like almost like rock-like teeth. You see these slitted kind of yellow metallic eyes that kind of fill themselves in on the page. You would see kind of these long metal-tipped fingernails growing out of a hand, and then words start to fill in the space in between. And you see a name that it kind of captions the top of the page. Senaye. And it goes on like this. Senaye are creatures created, well, formed, shaped is probably the better word for it, by shamans, by witches, by shamans gone bad. The Senaye is a creature of the earth. It's a dead body, something preserved within the earth itself, born into the earth's womb, they say, and embedded with the holy star steel. When earth and sky meet, a Senaye is born. And it serves the Inaldushi, the skinwalker, those evil turned shamans. It serves them utterly and completely. I've only encountered one of these things in southern Providence, but they are tough to kill. Especially if the witch that made it is strong. The one I found was lesser. It had resilience to most attacks, susceptible in small part to fire. Though I've heard of them from other reapers that could summon storms, that could raise the dead, summon the chibi. Something else I heard. If you kill the witch, the Senaye dies too. The witches are usually more susceptible, weaker. Kill it first, and the Senaye dies. I recommend explosives if you can get your hands on them. If you have to face a Senaye. Or a very, very good rifle and a lot of distance. And then it's initial to the bottom, BB.
Yeah, I imagine I'm just reading it out loud, like bits and parts of it. Say the word one last time, Sunai. And then after I'm done, just like shake my head, like look back at the page. Is it still filled in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look
You
up
can also turn to the page containing information about the Anuye, the skunk bear, and also there's a bit of information on the Scootagamug.
And I just look at Hiram, seeing if he has like any clue what's going on, or did I just teach him, the high and mighty Hiram, something?
Yeah, his face is kind of like shocked, like he's never heard of this thing. He doesn't know anything about what you're talking about, and he's kind of just like frowning, and he looks at the journal. It filled itself in.
I mean, yeah, you seen it, didn't you?
I've never seen anything like that before. I know that some reapers keep journals to detail their hunts, tricks that they learn, but I've never seen one fill itself in before.
Well, look at that. Me and you are at least on the same foot about something for a change. Well, seems like we got a witch to hunt. You know anything about that? Skinwalkers?
And he'd kind of look towards the door. Look, your friend, Matoska, skinwalkers practically do the same thing he does. He might be a skinwalker. Okay? They shapeshift. They take on aspects of other creatures, that they have become accustomed to and become those creatures. They wear animal pelts, and our friend wears a bear. Look, I don't know what exactly he is, but what I do know about the Inalushi is that they are powerful, terrifying. The few people that I've talked to who have tried to face one down, they said they were worse than Wendigo. Because Wendigos don't have a pack. So, if your friend is one of those, I say we should probably put a bullet between his eyes before he knows that we know.
Listen, I understand that Matoska is a interesting individual and I might be a bit off-putting, but I'll take care of him when the time's right.
Look, I have suspicions he killed Randall Boughton, okay? When I was investigating the room, I found owl feathers on the desk. As I was approaching the front gate, an owl landed on my shoulder. Look, does that seem like a coincidence to you? I just saw him turn into an owl. Okay?
And if he did kill Randall Bolton, would you trust me to do my job? Or to have to deal with you too?
You see him just staring at you. He just shakes his head. Look, Deputy, I get that this has all been fun.
What part of this has been fun, Hiram? You name
hunting-
one goddamn part of this that's been fun.
I get that being a Reaper is an experience, okay?
It's a shit experience, all right? None of us are having fun. Wesley is on the fucking verge of dying at any goddamn time. You're almost dead. I'm almost dead. And Matoska, he's a fucking weird individual, okay?
How many times have you tried to have me arrested, Deputy?
Many times. And I'm telling you, Matoska's time will come. But right now, like I said, this is bigger than us. And I can't believe I'm saying this to you above all people. The gods must be smiling down on you today, but there's a time where this might even be bigger than the justice that we know. Matoska knows something. We need him.
Yeah, he just frowns at you.
But I promise you that I haven't lost my way, and I don't give a shit about being a Reaper. All I want to do is save people. I want to uphold the justice and those that disobey it. And if Matoska did that, then he'll serve his justice too.
He just smiles and shakes his head. You do what you got to do then, Deputy. And he kind of just steps past you and looks over at his shoulder at you. Justice isn't selective, though, my friend. And he keeps walking out the door into the open sunlight.
I'll yell out, well, aren't you a hypocritical son of a bitch? And
he would yell back. He would just like say over his shoulder, I never claimed to uphold justice. I'm just saying if you're going to stand something, stand for it right. And he'd step out in the sunlight.
While all this was happening, Matoska was he was using his survival proficiency to look for tracks around the village because we saw some boot prints earlier. Maybe see where they went after the massacre. Also, if you can find anyone who was maybe fleeing the village and somehow track them down, he's going to try to find a trail leading away from the village.
Okay, roll me survival.
I also, after he's done that, want to read the journal about Yinadushi and see if they have like hiding or layers or whatnot, like places that they would go to.
16.
16. Okay, 16. You would find where they came into the village, kind of just beyond the village, just like this little rise, where it kind of like the hill kind of reaches a peak and goes back down over the other side. You would find horse tracks where they basically put their horses, picketed them up on the other side of this hill, and then just marched over the side of the hill down on the village. You see that all the feet kind of come from, all the footprints kind of come pouring out of the longhouse. They must have been inside doing some sort of a ceremony, and they all tried to run. You see that as they kind of run, some of the footprints kind of fall behind, kind of falling back, and then you see bullet casings start to appear on the ground from behind them, and then from up on the hill, kind of moving into the village. So a small group that was with them inside the ceremonial hut, inside of the long hut, kind of came out and shot them from behind, while the soldiers shot them from above.
And Trace is leaving the village?
You can see that the feet of both the So footprints and the Providence footprints kind of head back up the hill, and then leave from there on horseback, heading
From where the horses were.
Yeah, from where the horses were, heading east.
And no signs of survivors. Everyone in the village, like
Everyone but the little girl.
could be retaliation for the So attack.
You saying that to me? Are you saying that?
Yeah,
obviously-
I would come back to you guys and report what I saw. The guys arrived on horseback. They came into the village, lit everything up. It looked like there were some people you said that were attacking from within the longhouse.
Yeah, that kind of like as everybody like ran out of the longhouse trying to escape into the village and down the mountains. They kind of just fell back, letting everyone get ahead of them, and then shot them from behind.
I did not find any trace of survivor. Everyone who fled was shot. The entire village.
Well, whoever did it was thorough.
And I think last session I did look for Milwaukee, and she wasn't among the dead.
Yeah, she was not among the dead.
So yeah, I'll kind of like sit down next to Matoska and just like start cracking my knuckles. And all right, Yinadushi, and I'll start flipping through my book and seeing if anything helps me out.
Yeah, you'd find a page that had Yinadushi at the top of it, but information hasn't really been filled in. So you can surmise that as you encounter these things, or as you learn more from other people, or as you if you were to encounter one yourself, it would fill in with more information. All you have currently beneath it is basically like a short description. When a shaman turns bad and decides to meddle with darker forces, they generally become a Yinadushi. They mark themselves by wearing the skins of animals and defaming nature. They are able to transform and become animals, the likes of which they become associated or connected to, and they are only vulnerable when they are in their human state.
Well, it's not a whole hell of a lot to go off of. There's no sign of like animal tracks that aren't horse, like maybe an owl somewhere. Owl mother. Maybe I see some feathers or something.
I mean, it's a big village. You can roll investigation if you wanted to try and find some owl feathers, but You know that your friend's an owl too, so.
Yeah. I didn't know. Do we follow these tracks or?
I think we have met dead end here.
Gonna assume that pun wasn't on purpose. And then, what do you want to do with the little girl?
I agree, taking her back to Crow's Gulch may not be best, but leaving her alone in the wild. She is too young to fend for herself for more than a few days. Even so are not that strong at that age.
Yeah, I agree. We shouldn't leave her alone. She's gonna have a tough life at Crow's Gulch. But who doesn't have a tough life in Crow's Gulch? Maybe when she gets older, she can figure out what she wants to do. Keep an eye on her for you. If we go back to town, though, that's the end of this. Because Hiram knows, and I don't think he's going to keep quiet about it.
I cannot face the consequences of what I have done before I complete my mission.
Unfortunately, my friend, the law doesn't work like that. Put my hand on his shoulders. You can punch me now and run. I'll give you that chance at least. You saved my life. Or you can face this like a man.
He looks at him. Lance, you are a good man. I am happy to have known you. We will meet again. Both of our roads will take us to the same path.
I'm like, I'm sure I will.
We will meet up when destiny intertwines our fates once more. And he socks him as hard as he can straight in the nose. He's going to try to take him out.
Does Lance try to dodge?
No.
Okay, so just give me your 1 plus your strength damage. I'm guessing non-lethal.
Yeah, I'm doing non-lethal, but I want to bloody him good enough that if he tells the others, like, yeah, you know, he socked me and like knocked me out, and then he was gone, that it'll be a believable story.
Okay, go ahead.
So
just 1 plus 5, so 6.
Yeah. Well, 5 would be if I were raging.
Oh, so 1 plus 3.
1 plus 3.
Does that drop you, Lance?
No, I short rested, but I'll like over exaggerate it, go down, and blood pours out of my nose. Obviously, he's a big man.
Yeah.
And then as he begins,
I turn into an owl and I fly off, and I am going to fly back to where the little girl is. No one else knew where I left her, and Matoska is going to sort of. He's going to keep investigating and trying to find out where. He doesn't know the information that is in the book that says that the Senai are the slaves to the Yi Nadulshi. But since he's a Yi Nadulshi himself, I don't know if he might have seen something like this before or been able to guess. He knows there's only one other Yi Nadulshi. Okay, Yi Akagi. That's what I thought it was, Yi Akagi. I got confused between the two.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Anyways, he doesn't know about all that, but he knows that all this must be intertwined with Mawaki somehow, and so he is going to try to gain the trust of this little girl and maybe learn more from her about this lady, and he's going to take care of her in the wilderness because he knows how to do that, and hopefully, sort of on his own, try to track down what's going on while the other guys go back to Providence. And maybe if they find a lead and he finds a lead, they might meet up at some point in the future. But until then, he cannot go back to Crow's Gulch and face justice.
So you're just taking off into the wilderness with this little girl?
I'm taking off into the wilderness with the little girl.
I'll kind of spin around and pick myself up and just, son of a bitch, that hurt. And I'll kind of look up, and then I'll just say to myself, obviously, you're probably long gone, but you just hear Lance say, good luck, friend. I hope our paths don't cross too soon.
That would be quite the shame, wouldn't it?
Is that the voice of the DM? What's going on?
No, it's a voice behind you.
I turn around.
Blackburn is leaning against one of the houses, looking at you. So somebody stands for justice. You sure do. Excellent work.
I'll walk up to him, actually. That's enough for me. I grab him by the coat. Do I grab him by the coat?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, listen, you son of a bitch. I don't know what kind of game you're playing, but this is people's lives at stake we're talking about. And I'll turn around and throw him to the ground. Who the hell are you, and what do you know?
Yeah, he wouldn't fall to the ground. He just kind of stumble, very sure on his feet. He kind of almost like turns into like a pirouette before stopping and looking at you. Well, I mean, technically, all of us are, sons of Yeah, no, never mind.
The only son you are is a son of a bitch. Tell me what the fuck's going on, Blackburn.
I know for a fact that your mother was too.
I'll pull out my gun and say, don't you dare talk about my mama like that.
And he'd kind of just like raise his hands.
What do you know about my family? You know nothing. I actually get pretty triggered by the mention of my family.
Please, my friend, calm down. I pointed you towards Mephisto, right?
You didn't point me towards shit. You just showed up with your coy smile.
No, listen. And he walks over and puts an arm around your shoulder. I told you that if you wanted answers, if you wanted the strength to protect people, you should go and speak with Mephisto at the crossroads.
Who's this Mephisto?
He can make deals of sorts, but I told your father the same thing.
Give him like a what the heck, and now I push him off my shoulders and then like point blank gun to the face. What do you know about my father?
I know that he makes the same poor choices that you do, my friend, all the time.
I'm nothing like my dad, and I'll cock the handle. You better cock right now.
He would look at the point where you were just punched in the face by Matoska. Based off that decision you just made, I'd say you're awful a lot like your father.
I'm actually
like, let him go too.
I'm like shaking right now with anger at the talk of this. Don't you dare mention him. He's a piece of shit. He's nothing like me.
Believe what you want, my friend. Now, to the matter at hand. I see that you are beginning to understand my journal.
Shaky gun still on his face.
Please, put it down. Let us be civil. And he kind of puts a finger on the barrel and pushes it down.
I can read it a bit. Is this your journal or something?
It's yours now. It was mine. There's a difference, you see.
So Mephisto. That's the key to this. That's the
He's the
key.
man with the plan, yes. He is the one who can make all of your dreams come true for the right price, of course. And he'd sit down on one of the kind of like the random strewn about barrels that kind of are just lying around. And he'd reach into his pocket and kind of pull out a cigar, lighting it and taking a deep. Yes, Mephisto. But, I mean, you have quite a bit of information at your hands right now. My journal is full of all sorts of things that could help you.
Only has a couple pages with shit in it.
Well, you have to go and seek out answers yourself.
What good is going and seeking out these things that kill us just to learn what they do after we've killed them?
Have you looked at the book before you started fighting anything, or has that thought slipped your mind?
Definitely. While a man made of steel chest approaches with a gale force of wind, chucking around dead spirits, that's exactly what I did. I pulled out my book and did a little research on them.
Well, I'm not saying that you have to be a complete idiot, but if you wished to handle things more effectively, then maybe you might just do that. But of course, it's up to you. I mean, you're doing such a stellar job.
You're a son of a bitch, Blackburn.
Ah, but we're tied together like fraternal twins at the hip, baby, conjoined.
You said you knew my dad.
Of course I do.
You know where he is?
Of course I do.
You tell me right now.
Oh, calm down there, my friend. You have no bargaining chips over me.
I said you tell me right now, and I'll cock the gun again.
Oh, dear friend. And he stands up, walking towards you. You don't seem to understand at all who you're talking to. Shoot me. Shoot me and see what happens.
It's your last chance, Blackburn.
No, it's your last chance, my friend. If you want any chance of being able to protect people, because you're doing a stellar job of it, I must say. Poor Wesley losing his eyes, Matoska almost dying as well, you almost dying. And you couldn't save a single person in this village, could you? Man, the law's pulling through.
He wants to shoot him so bad, but there's just one piece of dignity that does. He knows that Blackburn. He wants. He just doesn't. He puts the gun down. Sighs.
I knew you'd make the right choice.
And then I'm just gonna try to punch him.
Okay. You swing, and it's open air. There's nothing there. Your hand passes through nothing. And you stumble, and you fall to your knees. And suddenly you hear a whisper in your ear. You want to make a difference, my friend. Find a crossroads and do what I told you. As for Mephisto, I'm sure he'll make you a very lucrative deal. And as you turn around, there's no one there.
Just punch the ground momentarily in frustration, kind of like heavily like breathing, and I'm actually sweating now a bit out of character to see this kind of like rage from Lance, and you could tell that he was on the fringe of losing it. I imagine it's actually like maybe Wesley that stumbles around the corner and sees him first and stops what he's doing and picks himself up and dusts himself off. How you doing, Wes? Feeling any better?
My arm's really sore. I can't turn my neck this way, only this far. The other way I can go all the way around, but not this far. I can go only over here. Over here. I can't even see my over to my right. It's just only this far.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get better with time. And I imagine Hiram kind of walks around too. And I'll just say, Matoska's gone. To the both of them.
Shocker.
Well, what
Yeah.
happened with Matosker?
Well, he decided that we're going to part ways for now. He's got some business to take care of. And then,
Did you have one of them arguments?
yeah, something like that.
Oh. Why can't we all get along?
Well, sometimes people make mistakes, Wes, and sometimes those mistakes you just can't forgive them for, even if they had the right intentions.
And Wes immediately looks down at like the silver demon gun that he has. When you say some people make mistakes, and he just has like this kind of a epiphany, silent moment where he's just really, really calm and pensive. You know, all three gears are turning in his brain.
Instead of the two. Yeah, as you look down at the gun, for the briefest of moment, the hand holding the gun isn't your own. You recognize the gnarled, calloused hands, the ring on his finger. For the briefest of moments, the hand holding the gun is your father's. And as you look down at it, as you see his hand instead of your own hand, it's only for a moment, but then it changes back.
Oh, it must be saying things again. This is my wound I got. Something mighty fierce.
Yeah, I'll put my hand on your shoulders and come on, guys. I know where we got to go next.
Well, I need some bed rest, sir. Maybe I don't know. It doesn't look like it'll open up too much more.
Yeah, you don't want to rest here.
No.
We'll get back to the horses. We'll camp out for the night. And then I got some
water.
I got something I need to take care of also. I think I know where to go next.
Am I coming with you again some more, Mr. Sheriff Deputy, sir? As your 10 prints?
Do you want to? I don't want to force you into anything, Wes. I can say that all I've done is gotten you into trouble and almost killed.
Well, you've never forced me, sir, to do anything. I'm feeling like I'm doing this out of the kindliness of my own heart. I feel like something is pulling us together, Sheriff, sir, and I'm honored to be able to be in your shadow.
Well, as long as your heart's in it, boy, you have a place by my side.
They can chew me up all they want. I still stand strong by your side.
I think you should maybe try to get chewed up a little less. And
yeah,
you got a pretty good shot with that gun. Maybe you should work on the distancing of yourself from the big beast with the claws. You know.
You mean I gotta?
It's called tactics.
You got multitasking?
No, not multitasking.
I gotta walk backwards and shoot.
Maybe just
like chewing on corn and walking.
Like there's this close, and then there's like this, and maybe you should try just backing it up to this area for a bit next time we get into one of those things.
But what if it gets closer to me? Am I supposed to go backward more?
I mean,
what happens if something in the way? There's a wall or something. What do I do then? I can't climb up the wall.
Wes, I know that if you put your not mind, put your heart to it, I'm sure
you'll figure
it out.
Don't put your mind to anything. I imagine Wes. Have you guys seen? How much of a Family Guy?
Oh, you guys are too good.
How much of Family Guy have you guys seen?
Only a couple
Bits and
episodes.
pieces everywhere. Yeah.
There's one episode where they're making fun of Peter's inability to multitask, and is like he can't even like chew on gum and walk at the same time. Wes reminds me of Peter in that moment. He's just shooting, and then he has to walk, and then turn and shoot again. Oh, perfect. Okay, so you guys are going back to camp out at the horses?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta tend to my wounds.
Yeah, you can set up camp easy. Take a long rest. Did you have something you wanted to do, Chris, or do you want to wait until next episode to do it?
We're coming to the closing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I imagine if you're cool with it, maybe we get to camp, and then in the middle of the night when they're resting, I kind of wake up and take a little horse ride to the nearest crossroad.
So did you prepare all those things that Blackburn told you to last session? Like the
Yeah.
picture, an item of importance, and then...
Yeah, you're right. No, I didn't. So we gotta get to Providence or Crow's Gulch first.
Okay.
I gotta see if I made notes about that even.
That's a good way to open up the session anyways. So we'll go ahead and you guys kind of set up camp, bed down for the night. Go ahead and take a short rest, not a long rest, because you get long rest when you rest for longer than 24 hours. I believe it's 48 in Providence. And we're going to go ahead and switch to Matoska and this little girl as you guys are kind of walking through the cold and dreary wasteland wilderness. She's kind of like wrapped up in like a bunch of furs, but she's still shivering.
Yeah, before I went back to check on her, I took like from the village, from the dead, as much as two people could need, a good amount in a sack or a backpack of just general stuff like furs, and if there's any water skins or survival equipment, like probably a bow for hunting and maybe nets or something if they fish at all. I don't know, but yeah. So I've got like a bag of stuff to help survive in the wild.
Yeah, you could have easily like kind of scrounged and scavenged from all the items that were blown about and left over in the village. I'm sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, so she would kind of be like walking, head kind of like looking like bent, looking down at the ground, wearily walking next to you.
And I imagine there's been silence for quite some time. I wouldn't have broken the silence knowing that she was in mourning, but eventually I would start the conversation as we walk into the evening, and I would just say, I am Matoska. What is your name, little one?
She would kind of look at you, staring at you for several hard moments before whispering under her breath, Katori.
Katori. He takes a deep breath in and out. I am sorry for what happened. I know things are difficult to understand. Like I said, I myself am quite confused. But I want to help you. To take care of you. I have a feeling that somehow everything that's happening is connected to myself and my actions in the past, to the pain I inflicted on others, and to the choices I made. And he sort of shakes his head.
Surprisingly, she would kind of pipe in as you say this. My mom always used to say, if you spend your time looking backwards, if you always look backwards in life, you're going to end up tripping and falling over.
He kind of nods and smiles a little bit, mist forming at his eyes, and he says, She was right. Now, look down here. And they're tracking like either a deer or a boar or something, and he shows her like the footprint. We're getting close. And they sort of approach. And one of the things that he brought from the village is a blow dart with some darts, and he sort of holds it up to her and helps her aim it through the bushes a little bit, and kind of goes, "Now breathe in and fire."
And she can't do it, and she just starts to cry. She says, "I'm never going to see them again, am I?" And that is where we'll end the session. All right, guys. Good session. This was session number 6, titled Corruption. Let's go ahead and do outros. Start with Alex, end with Connor, and plug what you want to.
Wow. All right, Alex Brady, nothing to plug. What a session, man. That was deep. I imagine as the girl starts to cry, the animal they were hunting runs away, and Matoska just holds her in his arms and starts crying too, as they both sort of console each other for what was lost. Wow. I don't know how we're going to move forward from this. This is crazy. We're all separated, and sorry, Ty, for splitting the party and throwing this all at you. But I'm really happy with the way the session turned out. That fight was super cool with the wind blowing and the demon guy, and oh my god, really epic session. I enjoyed it a lot. Thanks to everybody. And I'll just pass it on with that. Oh, and sorry, I apologize to all the viewers. I got confused between the Yi Nadulshi and the Yi Akagi and Chief Ahagi. And so I might have said a few of those things wrong. But so I apologize for that. I'll get it straight for next session.
All right, yeah, great session. Holy, that was a fun one. I'm not gonna plug myself again because that'd be a triple plug, and that's just too much for one night. So, holy crap, Tyler, that was a good one. That was a spicy meatball of a session. I dig it. I'm sorry, Brady, for chasing you out of the party. I really hope my character doesn't arrest and kill your guy, but we'll see where it goes. Damn. Good session.
And I am Connor of Dice on Ice. Thank you for running the session. Thank you for putting up with my, I guess you can say role playing. I'll just call it that. Thanks. It's been a fun time with all of you. I'm looking forward to the next one.
I feel so bad for Matoska and Lance. They had formed a friendship. They met each other. They were like this, and then just circumstance blew them apart. And now, oh man, crazy.
Could have been bros forever.
Shut up, guys. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. As always, if you liked the video, if you liked the game, like and subscribe. Go and join the AbTab Facebook group. This is what made this game possible. I love playing with these people, and as always, hope to see you guys. Hope you find yourselves in your games on a roll. Next session is going to be on the 29th, so feel free to tune in, and thanks again for tuning in.